Well, as we've said for years, a late start is better than no start at all. Hello, everybody. I hope you are good. I hope you are well. I hope you are ready for, it's probably just going to be a pretty chill stream. It's going to be a shorter stream. I got an esports cast to do early tomorrow afternoon, so it's one of those go to bed early type of nights. But hey, I'm still here for now. I'm still here for now. Can confirm the song command is working. Can you? Yes, you can. You can, in fact, confirm that. Fair enough. Fair enough. Doris, what's up? It's lifing. Life be lifing. It's been a few days. I'm just here for my streak. I compete in 7 hours. Hulk, I'm rooting for you. I saw the old travel deal for Instagram and such. Still mad I had to pay the premium. Pyro, I mean, you don't have to. But, you know. You don't have to. I mean, it is, I could just simply say what song is playing at a time if somebody asks. So I don't feel the need to have to. I would say more so Spotify as well. That's fair. Hello, Crashy. Hello, hello. Oh, goodness. Are we going to be able to make this roster work? You know what? Yes, we are. I'm going to make it work, damn it. I'm going to make this roster work, by God. Because we have David Flair, and that's all we need. We got beers for registering. I love Newfies. There you go. Welcome. Here's a beer. Crash, yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh, my goodness. Goodness. There was something I was going to do, but I don't quite remember. 10R, I've been watching a bit here and there. I was pretty disappointed that Italy dominated today. They could have laid off a little bit, knocked the U.S. out, but, you know, not allowed to have fun. Is the MLB and some sort of player association league problem right now? No. I mean, outside of there being a thought that there's going to be a lockout within the next year or so because of, well, the Dodgers. Let's be honest. The Dodgers. But no, outside of that, I mean, I don't think there's anything to it. You know. Italy dropped the ball. They dropped the sauce. They dropped the pasta sauce. More like Cap Dodgers. Got him. Carlos, what's up? What's up? Rob Van Dam is the new ECW heavyweight champion. Jerry Lynn is the TV champion. Cuba dropped the ball. Well, you know. It happens. It happens. We forgive Cuba. We forgive them. All right, Spotify, you got to work with me here. You got to work with me here. All right. I can't put a cap because salary's too late. Nah, it's never too late. It's never too late. I'm in Edmonton, currently housing one Shaquille O'Neal. Okay. No, I didn't see it. Yeah, I saw your tweet. I don't exactly have this alert radar to tell me what town Shaq is in at any given moment. So the fact that he is apparently in Edmonton is news to me. But that's neat. Shortbow Hawk. 120 streams in a row for Terror. That is ridiculous. College hoops, we don't really have time. That's why I'm not back on WWE starting anything. That's why I'm not on college hoops. Just don't have time. Baseball drops tomorrow, and we're going to be going all out on baseball. Doesn't mean we won't do something college hoops related eventually, but it's not going to be right now. So we'll see. We will see what happens, but yeah, anything we were to do college basketball-wise, we wouldn't be able to finish it anyway. So, that is the reason we are not on it. Same with, like, WWE 2K. Like, I had fun with it. The gameplay is honestly pretty good. But, Deborah. Women's champion, Deborah. What? Yeah, we just really wouldn't have the time to finish anything up that we were to start. So... he's apparently coming out. Oh, congratulations. With a line of furniture. Being carried by The Brick. Shout out to The Brick. Which I have seen signs for in St. John, New Brunswick, but never been in. Only 48 more hours until I lose free time to Out of the Park. That's the other issue, is that Out of the Park is also coming out at like the same exact time. That is a lot of baseball to try to balance, you know? That is a lot of baseball to try to balance. A lot. And I don't even think I'm going to do that well. All right. The Brian Pillman 1999 Memorial Show. That's horrifying. Davey Boy Neidhart beat the Steiners. Matt Bloom. Albert was in the opener? Hell yeah. But yeah, like I said, in this, he dies in this time. Well, that's just 98. Pillman was already dead. Yeah, it's going to be a shorter stream anyway. Like I said, I got some business to attend to tomorrow. So it's got to be a shorter stream anyway. Now, Crashy, the real question is whether or not Owen Hart's going to die in this timeline, because we are 2 days away from when that happened. And I don't know if that was pre-programmed, which is a little bit scary. You got Scott Hall getting into drunken arguments with everybody. Seth, not really. That, I should probably just take that down, because Frank wanted us to do, like, a build-up challenge, which means we don't really get rookies. We get a rookie, and then they disappear real quick. Because somebody actually signs them. Instead of us being the ones to sign them. 117 fans, huh? We're going to the bone. 10 in a row for Scott. Welcome back. Blitzkrieg, Johnny Samboli got into an argument. Aside from that, we are okay. Had a Final Fantasy character. Oh, you know, save time. Frank again not here for his own run. Well, that's how it works, right? That is how it works. Whew, that's a lot of people who did not get onto the show. Damn. I mean, I still think our shows are only set to be an hour. At least the Friday shows. There we go. Alright, now can we book for the pre-show? We're still on the hunt trying to find some tag teams. It's Revolution Saturday. It's on Sunday. And that pay-per-view is going to go to like 1 in the morning, man. I don't think I'm going to be able to watch it. It was going to be a long, long show. Sorry, we put AJ Styles and James. That's what I wanted to check, was making sure we have our brand new tag team of AJ Styles and James Storm, the beer community. Had Tim Brady out of Michigan in my Madden 05 franchise, sadly. The legend, Tim Brady. Let's see. We also need Lash LaRue and Mike Sanders. Country Dogs, Rocky Road. Okay. For the heels, let's try. What do we want to try? Shout out to KYR for the 3 in a row. Welcome in. Let's do Brent Albright and David Flair, Rodney Mack, and Trevor Murdoch. Time difference has me messed up. I wanted to watch sports today. I mean, yeah, shit, you're further east than even I am, so. All right, Hero Daniels and Rocky Romero, triple threat match. We can do that. Hero Daniels and Rocky Romero. That is a PWG-rific match. Coming out of college, I thought Peyton Manor would be something. I guess not. Peyton Manor. All right, let's see how this week goes. Ruckus and Elix Skipper. Ruckus gets the win. That got a 21. Okay, it's not bad. Super Dragon beats Ray Gordy. They don't really click. Okay. The Beer Community beats the Board of Education. Brent Albright, David Flair, and the Country Dogs. Got a 31. No note about Albright and Flair as a tag team. Brian Adias and Ron Killings beat Blitzkrieg and Gianni Stamboli. Jamie Nobleboy beats Charlie Haas to retain his World Heavyweight title. And then Test and Chip Minton defend the tag titles, beating Tony Mamaluke and Hernandez. And a dark triple threat sees Rocky Romero beat Chris Hero and Christopher Daniels. Okay. Not bad.
Oh, we're doing this again.
I got a 45. It's pretty good.
Confetti saved up.
It's pretty good. We're still losing about $900 a show with our expanded roster, but you know what? We're trying. The Real Hen Dog. 7 months on the primer. Thank you for that. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, nothing really for that week. All right, we're getting real close to seeing if whoever made this mod preordained the Owen Hart passing. I really hope that's not the case. APW gets a massive $25 million. Jesus! How come that couldn't happen to me? They got a $25 million donation from a rich fan's will. So they now have $25,033,000. I didn't even know that could happen. Fuck. Dude, do you know how much $25 million would help us? Oh my God. That's insane. Also, Tom Brady is single. Ladies. Fellas. And yeah, Disco Inferno's healthy. That's unfortunate. $25 million fucking dollars. That's 1/4 of a Daniel Jones. No kidding, man. How the Colts are spending money. $25,099 was like WWE's entire payroll. Let's see who the richest companies are right now. Because WWF has grown to Titanic size. So WCW has $124 million. WWF has 118. Dude, they now have more. All Pro Wrestling, the stars of Beyond the Mat, now have more money than New Japan. Jesus. And All Japan's in the red. So they probably have the third most amount of money. Dude, ECW has only got $3 million. They are now the fourth richest promotion in the world. AAA has $32 million. But still, they have more money than CMLL. Like, god damn. Why couldn't that happen to me? That would have changed the entire playthrough. Fuck. APW buys New Japan, right? They could buy All Japan. They're close to it. All right, let's see if Owen Hart's passing is pre-written into the script here. Thankfully not. So in this timeline, Owen Hart does not die at the hands of the WWF's ignorance. At Kemper Arena, Goldust did beat Undertaker in the main event to keep the world title. Rock and Stone Cold beat Farouk and Sid, the Nation of Domination. Sid in the Nation. Oh my God, that's the best. For anybody who does not know, for anybody who's like, I'm just hanging out, I don't understand wrestling. So the Nation of Domination was a Black Panther-esque stable of disgruntled black talents. And Crush. They did have a couple of white boys. A couple. But, and then they eventually added Owen Hart. But, yeah, the idea of fucking Psycho Sid. If anything screams black excellence, it's Sid Hewey. Oh, man. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Can we see if anyone's debuted this year in other regions? Yes. Yeah, we can. Because I do normally only check the regions I'm in. That's fair. Outlaws are still the tag champs. Now we just need Cody Rhodes. Dude, if the Nation lasts long enough that Cody Rhodes shows up 10 years from now, almost. God damn. Alright, so no Owen Hart death at Over the Edge 99, thank God. Which means I kind of want to play this mod and make Owen Hart world champion, because that should have happened. But yeah, the only real big note out of Over the Edge was a Cactus Jack heel turn and the New Age Outlaws winning the tag titles. Weird. Sid's in the Nation, Goldust is champion. Dude, not only is it Goldust as world champion, it's the artist formerly known as Goldust as world champion. Like, it's ball gag Goldust as world champion. The artist formerly known as Goldust is champion. Christ. God damn. Yeah, imagine though. Imagine this timeline. Owen Hart, still alive. May 24th, 99 edition of Raw isn't the Owen Hart tribute show because he didn't get essentially murdered, let's be honest. Essentially murdered. Alright, let's see. Now, Michi Marufuji sprained an ankle. Dave's EVAD is heading to the WWF. Fans amazed by Ghetto. Oh, just you wait. Just you wait. Nearly 20 years later, he's going to have Aaron Wolf lose to Bad Luck Fale. It's going to be great as we say thank you to one Ginger Ninja Gaming for the sub, or at least the sub conversion. I appreciate it. Put EVAD the Nation too. Phil LaFon's heading back to the WWF. Funaki won a title. One Man Gang's heading back to the WWF. Jesus Christ. So was Brian Adams. Crush Bra. God damn, they're hiring everybody. They are hiring everybody. Crush Bra. Doink Bra Bra. God, do I still have... I think I do. I think it's that bits thing with the fucking brother bra. Yeah, it's AEW's fault New Japan's going to shit. Yeah, right? No fucking kid. That, okay, there's two things about New Japan fandom that you'll see on Twitter or Reddit that annoy the hell out of me. One is people typing Nooj, N-O-O-J, when the company's abbreviation is NJPW. It's not shorter. It's type New Japan Pro Wrestling, dickheads. Speaking of dickheads, Ginger Ninja Gaming. Oh, thank you so much for the 10 gifted. I appreciate that immensely. You have no idea. You have no idea. And by God, I decree emote spam. I'm just here for the rants, as you should be. The other thing is, yeah, people blaming New Japan, their issues on AEW when it's like, dude, are you seeing, like, the booking mistakes they're making? I said emote spam, chat. You don't emote spam. I'm not unlocking the chat. You show your appreciation to Ginger Ninja Gaming. Giving me a bit of a pick-me-up that I gotta be honest, I really needed today. I really did need today. So thank you again. Oh, man. That's better. That's better. Hold on. We need one big Crash Andrews. Where's the Crash Andrews I want? Taste the biscuit. There it is. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. There it is. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Once again, I do appreciate it tremendously. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Tremendously. Scott Norton's going to... Dude, WWF is spending money. Scott Norton, Pat Tanaka, Buddy Landell, the real Nature Boy. We will do a... we'll do a world recap, everything that's going on at the start of June. For those who want to know, like, champions, other rookies, stuff like that. We'll do that then. We will do that then. Anteater, it's already out. It is already out. On the Xbox side of things, at least. The Vassy Tactics Tugi version 4 is already out, in case you missed that announcement from Vassy, but it is out now. Oh, Twitter, you fucking suck. There we go. Yeah, it came out yesterday. It came out yesterday. Where the fuck is the... It's there, I promise. It came out yesterday. Ryan, NJPW, Win Hopkins. Always better looking in here. Well, Ginger, I again appreciate it very much. I don't know. I don't know how much I want to get into it, because it kind of is what it is. But you know, I kind of mentioned it, so you know what, fuck it, let's talk about it. I mentioned last week, like, hey, had a job interview. Didn't get it, which is okay. It was going to be as the PA announcer for one of the major sports teams here in the good old state of Maine. I say major because we only have minor league sports teams, but still. And I don't know. It's been a pretty big disappointment for me. Primarily because, like, it would have required some travel for me to do it, but that wasn't the reason they gave. I guess the reason that they gave me was lack of qualification. So basically, hey, yeah, it's cool that you've made a living through YouTube and Twitch for almost a decade. Yeah, that's cool. You've done everything this job is going to ask you to do. From a speaking standpoint, a production standpoint, all of that we've done here through the esports stuff like that. I guess they just didn't view that as legitimate, which is, I don't know, that's kind of fucking with my head a little bit, right? Because I feel like for so long, you know, you kind of hear like, hey, forge your own path. Be a trailblazer. Forge your own path. As Ginger drops 20 gifted goddamn subs. Jesus Christ, man. Somebody got paid today. Fucking hell. More emote spam, chat. I demand 5 minutes straight of emote spam for that. Holy fuck. Thank you. Oh my god. Respectfully, but it's a minor league PA announcer. You won't replace him. Well, I mean, again, like Hulk, that's my thing, right? Like, it's a minor league sports team. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just in that regard, and it really sucks to just be like, let me fucking have a moan here. You got Ginger dropping 30 gifted subs over the last 5 minutes. But But I don't know. I guess it's just kind of fucking with my head a little bit. The idea of, like, you know, you kind of grow up hearing, like, hey, forge your own path, do this, do that. I've done that, and we're at the point where it's like, why'd you do that? You should have gone the traditional path. It's like, well, there's no fucking winning here. So, I don't know. Like, on one hand, it would have been really nice, obviously, to be able to branch out in that way. But on the other, it's like, well, shit, it means I get to do this more. And that, oh no, I have to spend more time with you. Christ. Oh, Hulk, I knew exactly what you meant. You're good. You're good. I knew exactly what you meant. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm like, well, one hand, it's like, all right, fuck it, whatever. On the other, it's just like, huh. Right. I had a job interview a few months ago for a job that had a built-in mentorship. The point of the job was to learn on the job, and they went with someone else who had more experience. That really marked in my head. It kind of feels like that, to be honest. Because, like, for me, if you're a minor league sports team, and you're looking for someone with more experience, don't you presume that you're then going to lose that person sooner rather than later? Because if they have experience, the type of experience you're looking for, apparently, if they have that experience, don't you presume that they're just gonna leave at, like, first opportunity for a more prestigious gig? You know? That'd be my thought, at least, but what do I know? What do I know? So, I don't know. It's just, it's been messing with my head in that way, because I'm just like, this doesn't really make sense. But it is what it is. Oh no, Jay Leno's retiring from wrestling. BBG one day. How Snow is evolving. Find the rival team and apply there. Well, the issue, too, is, like, man, those type of jobs don't necessarily come up all the time in this state, right? So that's another thing, is it's just like, God fucking damn it, like, it's one of those rare chances of, like, oh, cool, I might not have to move to be able to do something like that, and then, yeah. 10 gifted subs from the Rye Guy. Jesus. God, I should get job applications rejected more often. Fucking hell. I shouldn't, actually, because it blows. This obviously isn't a unique feeling to me. But, I think anybody that's been in that position where it's like, wait a minute, like, this doesn't fucking make sense. It just fucks with your head, you know? Fucks with your head. They always want guys with 20 years experience in the major league, and we'll do it for free, because what's money? Yeah, honestly. The funny thing is, we didn't even talk money yet. They could have literally said, hey, all we can offer you is the hot dog and a handshake, and I probably would have done it for the experience of it all, you know? So it's just, yeah, it's just fucking weird. I'd recommend reaching out to local high school, college, and amateur team. I mean, SP, that's probably the plan, really. I mean, that's what I've done, to be honest. But again, it's a bit few and far between in terms of that opening, or in terms of those type of openings. Yeah, I talked about it, like, last year. I had an interview lined up to do commentary work, potentially, for a junior hockey team. And the day before the interview, they had to cancel because the ownership of the team changed, and then the new ownership never got back to me and went a different direction. So it's like, I've had a couple of these instances lately where I'm like, fuck, man, we're close to maybe breaking through a little bit, and it just hasn't happened. But if it makes you feel any better, it's also not on you. I have a friend who has a PhD and couldn't get any teaching jobs. Couldn't even get a job at Panda Express. Job market's ass. That's the other element to it, right, too? Like I said, like, my complaints here, trust me, I do not view it from the perspective of, like, why is this only happening to me? Like, it's just, you know, it happened to happen this week, and I'm just bummed out about it, as I think anybody would be, you know? I'm not worried about soft drugs backstage. Who cares? Again, Rye Guy, Ginger, thank you both so much. I appreciate that. Not sure what team you talked to, or even if you said, but USL League 1-2 seasons are coming up. It's one of those. Smelly with the 5 gifted.
Taste the goodness of the
Jesus Christ, stop.
biscuit.
That's enough. I feel a little bit better. Thank you. Stop.
Taste
Christ.
the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
And usually most people don't even think about talking to them for a role. Might be worth a shot. Looks like there's one. Okay, well, SB, you pretty much, you figured it out, you fucking detective. It was going to be for the Portland Hearts of Pine, which, again, is a Tier 3 soccer team. Tier 3! We're going for more experience. Okay. Whatever the fuck that means, man. Fuck.
Taste the biscuit.
So yeah, that was the deal with that. That was the deal with that. Oh, and an experience that some of you probably also have. The interview went fucking perfectly. Like, I can honestly look back on that interview and just be like, huh, what went wrong? Because I didn't see anything that went wrong. So it's truly one of those mindfuck experiences of just like, huh, I get not getting a job, but then it's like you add up like, huh, what the hell? There was this, and then there was this, and then that, and it's just like nothing. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's been a mindfuck. It's been a mindfuck. Inadvertent Sherlock Holmes over here. Yeah. And the thing is, too, like, it's not one of those things where I'm just going to be like, fuck them. Like, no, like, the people that I talk to are really nice. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But we march, we move, you know? We march and we move. But, it's definitely been a bit of a downer lately. Over the past couple of days. My guess is somebody is getting their friends a job. You never know, right? Because again, like for my I don't know, just from my perspective, right? Like if you look at the fucking tiers, right? Because for those who don't know, it goes obviously like MLS, and then you have USL. As we say thank you to Smelly as well for the 32 months. But yeah, just I don't know. Like I said, I've had interviews where I nailed it, but I didn't get it. Could be they already had the spot filled up. I had to legally post the interview. Still sucks. So you just gonna. Oh yeah, I mean Ripley for sure. It's definitely just one of those things where I'm like, God fucking damn it, but at the same time, you accept it for what it is. You know. It could be anything. Like it could be that. It could be that. Legitimately, they just do have somebody like really well known lined up. Could be a friend. Like I don't know, man. So I don't know, but I guess the thing that really stuck in my craw was the idea of like, the term of like. Qualifications or lack thereof. It's like, fuck you? Like that. I guess that's the one thing where I'm like, all right, fuck you for that. Because, goddamn, is your boy qualified? But it's not hard. It's hard to not take it personal sometimes when you don't get the job. Very true. Very true. Like I said, I mean, I'm not taking it personally. I'm just fucking bummed. I'd rather bomb an interview than do well and get excited about it. Right? Like for me, it's one of those things if they were just like, hey, you live 2.5, 3 hours away. We want someone who's within a 40-minute radius of the place, just in case there's weather or something like that. I'd be like, look, totally get it. But when you basically hear the words, great job, that was fantastic, multiple times during an interview, they could be thinking about you for a backup if something happened. Maybe. To my recollection, they were looking for a backup, and I still didn't hear, so I'm guessing I didn't even make the top 2. So it's like, I wonder, basically, I'm wondering about things I'm never going to get the answer to. For example, Is anybody else going through this mind fuck? Was that like their go-to of like, oh no, this could be great, just to be told, nah, not happening. So I just wonder if I'm the only person that's gotten completely mind fucked in the past couple days, because that's always a fun feeling, you know. I've interviewed the Blues, Caps, Panthers, ended up working out in the end. The guy they hired lasted long, no second live with that. That's fair. That's every interview, so it's not awkward. I feel like probably, yeah. Probably. That interview with the mentorship, I went through 3 rounds. I'm so stoked. It was a big career shift. I was super, and then nothing. I'd rather have just bombed out in 5 minutes, right? Like, god damn, it'd be so much easier if just like on the day they were like, hey, thanks for coming out. Appreciate you. It's not the right fit. Cool. We're good. But, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. So, by the way, for those endo on the get a real job train, bitch, I tried. And yelling into this microphone for almost a decade is apparently meaningless. Fuck. Oh, let's see. Christopher Daniels beats Chris Hero. Johnny Stamboli beats David Flair. The beer community beats the country dogs. Try yelling at a cloud, not the mic. I guess, man. When getting a real job is harder. Let's not forget companies love wasting people's time. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just finally got hit with the reality check of like, oh yeah, shit, that's what the job market's like. It's not fun. It's not fun. Fucking hell. God, and people wonder, like, hey, why do you put so much time into this? Because, my God, is this so much better than dealing with the nonsense. Holy shit. Watching Blitzkrieg beat Super Dragon, so much better. Christ. Don't worry, we'll all get drafted for some bullshit war soon. One can only hope. One can only hope. Ooh, we do have a new tag team. Ron Killings and Brent Albright. Cool. Ron Killings and Brent Albright. We'll have to come up with a name for them. Jamie Noble defends the world title again. Test and Chip Minton defend the tag titles again. Nice. We're putting on some good shows here for a company our size. Mike Sanders is also out for 23 days. Okay, let's see. Give me 1 second here, just to make sure I don't miss anything. So we want to give Mike Sanders 3 weeks off. What am I doing? Roster. Mike Sanders. Give time off. 3 weeks. And then we need a new tag team. It is Brent Albright and Ron Killings. When we look at these two, what is that tag name, chat? Imagine needing that job and going through the bullshit half a dozen times until you find something. Yeah, well, I mean, again, right? Like, so me starting this up in the first place, there were 2 reasons to do it. One, to get the reps in, because again, couldn't afford to go to college for this shit because I couldn't fucking afford it. The second was to obviously, like, hey, if I could make a living out of this, that would be cool. And to have done, you know, like, I've gotten to do a lot of cool things because of this, but it's just, I don't know, maybe it was that rejection of like, hey, not necessarily valuing the experience that I have because it's in an untraditional format. That's a knife twist, basically. I do find it ironic that undoubtedly you probably average more views on Twitch and YouTube than a USL broadcast would. Possibly. Before the disabilities, I was in interview hell after graduating with 3 matches. So funny enough, too. And Monk, I've been trying on the network front. Trust me. I remember back in the college side of things. And SB, honestly, I might take you up on that offer because there was a time in high school where I thought I might be more of a writer than a talker. I still feel like I'm a decent writer. I might be wrong, though. I just remember back in high school, I've talked about this plenty of times. You know what? We'll give it to BBG on this one. I had an elective my senior year, and some of you would have heard this story undoubtedly a couple times over the years. Also, Stephanie McMahon is going to Japan. I had an elective my senior year of high school where every night it would be watch the news. At the time, it was the CBS News. And then we'll talk about it the next day. And every single night, that story or these stories were always, here's this person with a master's degree or whatever that just cannot get work. And for me, that was brutal. To watch that, you know, coming from a lower class family in the first place, Maddie, I feel like you did as well, but thank you again for the 28 months. Coming from a lower middle class family, it's like, dude, we didn't have the money for me to go to college. We just didn't. I tried, but it just wasn't going to work. And then on top of that, you see on the news people with master's degrees being interviewed while they're working the counter at Starbucks because they can't fucking find a job in their field. Like, goddamn, you know? Goddamn. And the fact that it's, in some ways, really only gotten worse, right? A lot of times, the master's degree, it's because they're overqualified. Right. It's like, oh, you're underqualified. Oh, you're overqualified. It's like, well, what the fuck are people supposed to do? You know? I've heard people having to leave it off their resume to get jobs. That's insane. I feel like not getting a degree helped me. Well, Monk, like, the funny thing is, though, right? Like, I think the problem is a lot of my connections that I have are people that are above Division 3 sports. Even if it's, you know, pro level, it's still like Division 3. Like, you know, again, like, I have worked with numerous people that are attached to professional sports teams. We have had people hang out in this chat that have either been presenters for professional sports teams. Shit, in the case of AJ Greer, we've had NHL players hang out in this fucking chat. The problem is, like, the people that I could be like, hey, this person could probably go to bat for me. It's like, dude, they're way the fuck up here, and I'm applying for something down here. It's not really going to help. It's weird, too, in 2026, they wouldn't value podcasts and social media success. Now you see why it's a bit of a mindfuck. Right? Well, I went with the start at the bottom, work your way up in an industry, have life experience. Well, Monk, I mean, again, like, for me, too, that was kind of like my target, right? Was like, okay, I'm not going to have the fucking college degree experience that you can get out of it, but I have the experience in other ways. Like I said, like, whether it be in person or remote, like, running the production work and shit like that. I mean, goddamn, like, live problem solving, like, it's nuts. But, you know, 75% of people I know, aside of very specific and specialized jobs, are people who have degrees in completely unrelated fields. I've heard a lot of that, to be honest. My resume, the only way you'd be able to tell I'm disabled is, you know, powerlifting or sledge hockey because I'm cynical. That's fair. Getting a job's all about connections. That is very true. And I can't say I know anybody who works for that team, unfortunately. If only. Damn, what are we going to do here? Triple threat match and then a fatal four-way? We'll do it that way. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it was just one of those things. I'm not claiming to be in a unique situation or anything like that. But definitely got that that old smack to the confidence over the past couple days, and that's never fun, you know? That's never fun. But it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, we need 17 more minutes. 2.5 hours might be too long for us. Monk, maybe. I don't know, right? Maybe. Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, either it does or it doesn't happen. I mean, obviously. But, yeah, just that thought of like, huh, what does it mean if I don't, you know? I don't know. I don't know. All right, there we go. Is this wrestling 9 times as extreme as the first 8? It is. It's unbelievably extreme. I have an English degree. Most of my job experience have fuck all to do with said degree. Well, that was the other reason why I was, as a kid, especially at fucking like 17, 18 years old, I'm like, dude, how the fuck is college going to work out for me? Because again, it's like you have those examples of just like, why am I going to risk this for no guarantee? You know? Why am I going to risk this? You know? But I don't know. All text, we were talking about the joys of having a job application rejected. Ruckus beat David Flair with the hate crime. God damn. Not the hate crime. Johnny Stamboli beat Christopher Daniels. Country Dogs beat the beer community. Yeah, all text is what it is. It would have been cool, but I guess it was not meant to be. If you have a real job, would that mean less streams? Well, it depends on what it would be. This one, had I gotten this, at most it would have been like, I might miss a Saturday night twice a month or something like that. It really wouldn't have been all that intrusive to what we have going on here, you know? Which would have been nice. I think that's another reason why I'm like, God damn it, because it would have been something. It would have been something that wouldn't have been all that intrusive to this, as opposed to some other, you know, just like straightforward jobs I could take that would probably be pretty intrusive to what I'm doing here. And, you know, let's be honest, right? From a live streaming perspective, the way Twitch works, the way YouTube works is this. It pretty much, unless you just have this unbelievable built-in audience, the vast majority of people, myself included, are pretty much in the scenario where we need to do this on a daily basis. Because the way this works is out of sight, out of mind. And it's happened so many times, odds are you have probably watched somebody on Twitch who used to be like an everyday streamer. And then all of a sudden they cut it back to 4 days a week or 3 days a week. Then it gets cut back to 1 day a week and then they just disappear. Like shit, even my wife watched a, not fucking Terraria, but Shot the Ford for the 7 months. I can't think of what the fuck that game is. But even my wife had like a favorite streamer she would watch, and this woman went from streaming 5 days a week to 3 days a week, and then just 1 day a week, and then alternate Saturday, and then they disappeared. You know? So it's like, for me, it's like, you know, trying to do... Oh shit, JYD didn't die in this timeline either. God damn. Diablo Velasco did. Diablo Velasco? I don't know who that is. Vast majority of Twitch streamers were like that. Exploded during COVID. Twitch did not have adjust to promote discoverability. I mean, that's its own thing. A lot of YouTube followers, like, they post 3 to 5 days a week, are gone now. Yeah. I mean, because that's just the way that it works, really. Is, like I said, it's out of sight, out of mind, unfortunately. Kind of like Sin making YouTube videos. Yeah, and it's like, obviously, like, Sin is one of the better people and one of my better friends I've met out of this. But it was a combination of things for him, but primarily it was, hey, got this job, I'll try to do what I can, and then, it's very, very difficult to balance like a full-time job with full-time content creation. It's basically, it's not impossible, but it's damn close, It is damn close. Which is why, for me, I was, I was obviously really hoping, like, oh shit, something like this, get my foot in the door in a more traditional form of this, and, still be able to put pretty much as much time into content creation as I'd like to, Because, like, if the day comes, which, holy shit, due to rising costs in this fucking country, it might come sooner rather than later. But the day it doesn't make sense for me to do this as my primary job from a financial standpoint, the day that happens, might be sooner rather than goddamn later in terms of having to get the real job, And then who knows what happens after that. Burnout's a thing, that's why I mostly stop. I, for the most part, though, have been able to avoid it, which is kind of nuts. I think the benefit to that is, at least from a streaming perspective, is I just play a little bit of everything, So there is that. But, oh, Road Warrior Hawk. Road Warrior Hawk Tua. Remember big YouTube streamers I watch, people would ask about going full-time, the response was, don't do it. I mean, it is tough. It is tough. Because it can certainly take a lot of the fun out of the idea of just playing games, right? Especially when it's like, hey, numbers, worried about numbers, shit like that. Like, again, like, when I stream, I try my best to just be like, nope, don't look at view counts when I'm streaming. It's fine. It's fine. Gotta do what I gotta do, right? Pumping the bar down, guys can do and get just for broadcasting. Yeah, I mean, Ripley, right? I mean, that's the idea, right? Is that grassroots, try to find my way in, and make it work from there. But it is obviously easier said than done. Holy contract status. All right, we're going to have a lot to catch up on in the game world here. But yeah, like that's the thing, right? Is, you try to carve out your own path, and you hit some dead ends from time to time, and I've hit a couple of dead ends lately. And like anybody, right? You hit that many dead ends and trying to do what you got to do or do what you want to do, and obviously it's rough. Do I got to stream anything that would throw my mental state out of whack instead of just enjoying the games to enjoy them? That's fair. I mean, again, I can't say I haven't been affected by that idea of like, oh, fuck, what am I going to do? What am I going to play? If I want to play this, but it's not going to get as many views as what that's going to get. Like, there's definitely that element to content creation. Let's see. Jimmy Yang goes to WCW. Dusty probably staying with WCW. So is Orndorff, Rick Rude. I also think as the media landscape grows and people who are contemporaries with you and understand your job and career path, opportunities will open up. That can only be the hope, right? That can only be the hope, Ripley. I was kind of hoping we were already there, I was kind of hoping we were already there, where I could go through an interview process for an announcer job, a commentator job, and that there wouldn't be a stigma surrounding, like, wait a minute, YouTube, Twitch, esports, what? Kind of feels like there still is in the aftermath of this, though. Kind of feels like there still is, which isn't fun, But I ain't shit. In the meantime, I still get to do this. Like I said, never have don't have a fucking Lambo in the garage. Wouldn't want one in the state of Maine either. That would be hell. But, it's nice to still have this. Those fuckers can't take this away from me. Oh, let's see. Whoops. What do we got? Dean Malenko gonna leave WCW. Dean, come here, please. We can't afford you, but come here. Dude, there are so many contracts expiring. Jesus Christ. New Japan's losing Shinjiro Otani. Jericho might be staying with WCW. Kimberly Page looks like she's leaving. Glacier's going to be leaving WCW. Jimmy Snuka has left the business. A bit too late, but that's fine. Probably asked you this in a while. On the topic of streaming, regardless of what time I stream or how often, why do people tell me I should stream more of what I enjoy? And they'll be there no matter what I play, but aren't around when I play what I enjoy the most. Oh, brother, don't I wish I knew the answer to that one. Altex, I think it's that people have good intentions, but more often than not, when somebody discovers you by playing a certain game, if you stray too far away from what they know you for playing, either they're not interested in that, or they already kind of have that person that they are interested in watching play that, or something like that, right? So, like, for me, for example, NHL franchise was what I built channels up on, right? But obviously, okay, Madden, other franchise modes, other sports games, we're good, right? We're good. And I will certainly have people be like, yeah, I'll fucking be here no matter what you play. And again, I do believe that is with good intention. But if you stray too far away from that core, there are just going, then you play Pokemon, right? Which, I mean, in fairness, right? Like, you know, if I look at, like, I think the numbers for Pokemon were around, like, 70-ish people per night, which isn't that bad, honestly. But that's, like, half of what the audience is for, like, franchise modes, typically, you know? So it's just... Altex, like, the best thing I could say is, for the most part, either... If you're looking to approach it from the standpoint of... Well, do I play what people want to watch, or do I play what I want to watch? You play what you want to play. And if people watch, awesome. If they don't, then at least you're still playing something that you know you're enjoying. So, like, for example, with me, it was, well, I'm already playing a shitload of NHL franchise mode in my own spare time. Why don't I try to make videos about it and see if I can build up an audience? And here we are, right? So at least that way it wasn't like, oh, shit, yeah, let me pretend to be a COD streamer, you know? I stream Gears, stream is dead for the entirety I'm playing it, but mere seconds it's switching to anything else, people are actually interacting. You got that choice to make then, right? You got that choice to make. Do you play what you want to play for potentially little interaction, unless you then find that newer audience that does enjoy it? Or do you play something that you maybe don't enjoy as much for whatever audience you do have? I agree with Endo as well. Some games just don't do well. You know? Like, it's fucking weird. Like, Twitch especially is weird. For example, right? Like, if you look at... Here, let's look at the categories page right now, right? If we look at the categories page right now on Twitch... I mean, the biggest games that are out there are pretty much games that have been out there for a really long fucking time. And the vast majority of them are live service games, or always, you know, they're just always going type of games, you know, except for like fucking Resi, which is big right now, right? But like, for example, you know, like WWE is at its biggest money-making time in the history of that company. Their new game just came out. And look at how far down we are having to scroll to find WWE 2K26. You know? Like, it's just, you don't know what games... Like, dude, they have that directory, and it's no shade at anybody in that directory. That directory has fewer viewers than the Division 2 And that game's been out for like, what, fucking 7 years? You know? Like, you just don't know. You just don't know. It was Stardew Valley, by the way, was the game I was thinking of that my wife watched a streamer of. Shout out to Panda, by the way, for the 11 months on the primer. I appreciate you. I know the issue when I streamed anything wrestling, I have my normal viewers switch, anything else is dead. And that's just kind of the way it goes. The game would not crash every 2 seconds. That would help. That's fair. I gotta be honest, like, that's just kind of the way it goes, Altex, right? Like, I think that's just such a common thing unless you are a streamer of a certain size. There are very few streamers that are going to retain those consistent audience numbers. It's division in New York or Chicago. First one in New York, second one was in DC. You know, like, if you look at live channels right now, right? Like, okay, number one streamer online right now is Queso. That dude can play pretty much anything, and his numbers are going to be pretty damn consistent, right? And then the fucking Burnt Peanut, which I barely even heard about that guy, but he's huge all of a sudden, right? Summit can play whatever, you know? There are very few people, though, where it's like, shit, I can play whatever I want. You know, like, we can use Terry as an example. Like, NHL is where his best numbers are. Some of Terry's best content is with fucking Played Up, or what was that game? Schedule 1, stuff like that. And he gets a third, at best, of that audience. Like, that's just kind of how it works. When people find you for what they find you for, or from, that is typically what people are going to watch you for. Like I said, whether or not it's, oh, you switch to something else, I'm not interested in that. Oh, you switch to like a story-based game, I already played it. I already watched a creator play through it. You know, not everyone's going to be like Reaver with Resident Evil 9, where he was here with me despite playing the game 8 times. And then I sent the raid over the other night to Audrey and Joy's, and he was hanging out there just being like, yeah, I'll talk about Resident Evil with people. Not everybody's like that, you know? Not everybody's like that. That is just one of those things about streaming where it just, it is what it is. It is what it is. And then with Deke, yeah, right? You can count successful variety streamers on 2 hands. Basically, right? Like, it's just one of those things where it's just kind of, it is one of those things you have to accept when you're streaming, is that if you have built up any sort of audience on one type of game and that's your core audience, not everyone's going to jump. Even if they say they're going to follow along, they probably aren't. That's just how it goes, right? That's just how it goes. And I wouldn't necessarily take offense to it, because I do think it's people meaning well. But, you know. For those who wanted, take Twitch's chat's word with a massive grain of salt every time. Yeah, there's that too. Like, I mean, because I've learned that over the years too, right? Like, God, it was like 6 years ago or so. People are like, hey, actually, I think even longer. People are like, hey, open up a P.O. box. Dozens of people being like, hey, open up a P.O. box. It'd be cool. I do. I think 2 people sent me something. 2. Not to mention a lot of people have big audiences from YouTube and vice versa. So Ripley, like, that was the thing for me that helped me out on Twitch a ton. And one of them was a bomb. God, if only. You know, I started up on YouTube first and had a bit of an audience when I started up on Twitch. So I never had to do the streaming for less than 5 people. Like, we started off with like 25 people in here on night 1, and it grew from there. That's the other element to it, is, you know, mentally just trying to find an audience on Twitch. It was mentioned in chat. It's so fucking difficult. It is so fucking difficult. Final, what's going on, man? You know, like, the example that I make here, too, right, is, like, you gotta think of it from this perspective. by the metrics that I get, I am one of the most successful streamers on this platform. That should not be inspiring to you. I make a modest living through content creation primarily because I live in the middle of fucking nowhere in Maine, and also we're a 2-income household with my wife and I. Like, the people that have better numbers than me, like, there's those different tiers, right? Like, yeah, you get those fucking, the 0.01% that can stream to, like, 5K viewers every night. But even from, like, a sports game perspective, it's really like, okay, tier 1 is, like, 500 and up every night, and there's very few people that do that. Then there's people that get, like, 200, 250 a night, and sometimes dip into tier 1, someone like Mills. And then there's tier 3, which is, like, 100, 150-ish people, if I'm playing what I'm known for playing, that occasionally dips into tier 2. Like Madden, we were getting like 300 viewers a night. That was lovely. I'd love to be tier 2 full time. That would be great. But man, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So even me now playing a secondary game that a lot of my audience doesn't have interest in, and I looked, we're at 73 people right now on Twitch, right? Those numbers are astronomically high in the grand scheme of things. And does it translate to, you know, does it translate to being fucking loaded? No. No, it does not. I promise you that. People with like 500 followers and 10 viewer average are like top 5%. Yep. Yeah, it's... And so again, right, like when we were talking earlier about like me being bummed out over the past couple days because I interviewed for a job and I didn't get it, right? Like when we talk about that, again, number one, that's obviously not an experience exclusive to me, for God's sakes, not even close. But like, man, at least I have this as a fallback where it's like I'm still incredibly thankful to have the audience that I do, because Jesus Christ, like... It's a rarity to even have this, you know? Said this on my own streams before, not to chat. I'll say it again. I love hockey. It's my favorite sport. Do I enjoy streaming in NHL? I also stream it because it works. Then it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if that's your thing, then you got to find the way. But I agree with Endo, too. Find your brand, too, because he's making crazy-ass challenges that no one would think of doing to break the game in the process. Yeah. I mean, those are... Like, if you think back to what my breakthrough was on YouTube, it was the OG Draft of Glory, and someone like X-Tech noticing and being like, hey, people, check out this guy. And that was the breakthrough from just doing something weird and different. And honestly, all Draft of Glory is taking the concept of a Youth Academy only run from FIFA that other YouTubers were already doing, and basically incorporating that into NHL. And putting my own spin on it. That's all that was. I can't sit here and say I've had this crazy idea. You're already done if you're getting into streaming just to make money. 100%. 100%. Like I said, it's one of those things where, like, statistically, I am an incredibly successful streamer. That doesn't equate to much. You know? That doesn't equate to much, I can tell you. So really, like, with streaming, it just has to be, hey, I enjoy this. That's the only thing I can ever recommend to people is play what you want to play, stream what you want to stream. And if something happens out of it, cool, but expect nothing. You know? Imagine people seeing how Twitch was in 09, 10. So Big Boy, I mean, again, right? Like, what's that, what is it? Like, account age? Is that a thing? Is it this? I don't remember. There we go. I have been on Twitch since the Justin TV days. I made this account in October of 2008. Like, I have seen how this platform has grown and changed. Some things have changed, others haven't, just in the way that things work out, you know? In terms of just what the hell this platform is. Nearly 6,500 days ago. I was watching Justin TV MLB copyrighted streams. I was watching Justin TV for wrestling pay-per-views. The glory days of watching Justin TV, WWE, and TNA pay-per-views, baby. Whew. Reported. I think the statute of limitations have expired. So yeah, all text. That's all I can recommend, man. Just play what you want to play. Play what you want to play. If something happens out of it, cool. If something doesn't, whatever. But I also understand if it's difficult, because obviously it's difficult to be like, play this that I kind of like, but I'm burnt out on, more viewers. Play this that I'm really into, basically nothing. I get that, because even I struggle with that. If I didn't, there would be a hell of a lot more Chugi and Crash play Fortnite streams. There'd be a hell of a lot more. Even at my, even with my channel where it is, I still, on occasion, factor that in, Of just being like, shit, it'd be nice to play this, but I'm not going to do it, All right, really quickly, for whoever asked about WCW, Tuki goes to iRacing and wrecks the field stream. One of these days, we will end up on iRacing. For whoever asked about WCW, in June of 1999, these are their 5 biggest stars right now. Bret Hart, Randy Savage, Stang, Ric Flair, and Roddy Piper. But they do also feature Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, DDP, Rey Mysterio, Hogan's still there. And their champions, Medusa is the Cruiserweight champion. Ultimo Dragon is the U.S. champ. Heavyweight champ, Stang. Tag champs, the Steiner Brothers. TV champion, Lord Steven Regal. And then World War III was last won by Stang. Man called Stang. Then there's the WWF, highlighted by Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Kane, Triple H, and The Rock. But they also have Cactus Jack, Goldust, Vader, Sid, Golga. Their current champions, European champion Ahmed Johnson, Hardcore champion D'Lo Brown, Intercontinental champion Marvelous Mark Marrow. Most recent King of the Ring was Shawn Michaels. Current light heavyweight champion Brian Christopher. Most recent Royal Rumble winner was Stone Cold. Women's champion Deborah. World champion Goldust. And tag champions the New Age Outlaws. So that is what is going on in the WWF. And actually with WCW, Eric Bischoff, still CEO, head booker Kevin Sullivan. What do they have for tag teams and stables right now? Let's see. We have the Cat and Norman Smiley, amazingly awesome. Dangerous by Design, Saturn and Van Hammer. Decimation, Glacier and Goldberg. Greatest tag team of all time. Disorderly Conduct, who were a real tag team. Faces of Fear, Haku and the Barbarian. Well, Meng and the Barbarian. Harlem Heat. High Octane of Mike Rotunda and Psychosis. Okay. High Voltage. Los Villanos. Scott and Steve Armstrong. Sweet and Sour of the British Bulldog and Ultimo Dragon. Team Explosion of Ray Traylor and Mortis. The New Legends, Renegade and Brad Armstrong. The Outsiders, Public Enemy, Steiner Brothers, and Vicious and Delicious. And their stables, they still have the NWO, which includes, man, even Louis Spicoli doesn't die in this timeline. They still have the Flock, no new members, and the Squadron, Piper, Juventud, Jericho, and the Steiner Brothers. Hijack Gaming. Good sir. How are you? Thank you very much for the raid. I hope you have been well. I have no idea what Code Vein is, but I hope it was fun. I feel like Trailer and Mortar should be renamed to the Village People for reasons. Polly, what's up, by the way? So that is what's going on in WCW right now. Do they have any new additions to their Hall of Fame? Yes, so Harlem Heat, Ric Flair, Sting, the Steiners, the Outsiders, Eric Bischoff, Kevin Sullivan all join the WCW Hall of Fame. Also, there was a question earlier, should AEW have a Hall of Fame? They will eventually. I think it's a bit too early. I think it's a little bit too early. Crash, I can't. I wish I could. It's a little bit too early, but AEW would definitely have potential people for a Hall of Fame right now. Obviously, like Brody Lee, Jericho, Sting. I mean, they have names to put in there for sure. For sure. Hi, Jack. Again, what's going on, dude? I hope the stream went well. I hope you've been well. Did they put Cody in the Hall of Fame? That could be a weird one. I don't think WWE would let him. The last time AEW tried to help out WWE was when DX went into the Hall of Fame. And AEW was like, yeah, sure, Billy Gunn can go. And, of course, Triple H the whole time, that was the, I can't believe you work for that pissant company. So, you know. WWF right now, by the way, tag teams, the Legion of Death, PCO and Matt Bourne. Holy shit. LOD, Los Boricuas, Mass Slaughter of Farouk and D'Lo Brown, Recon and Sniper of the Truth Commission, the Roundhouse Puppy Kickers of Mark Henry and Ice Train. Holy shit, that tag team would be sick. There are 2 LODs, indeed. Mabel and Bam Bam Bigelow, the Enforcers. That's a beefy team. Godwins, Headbangers, Outlaws, the New Blackjacks, the New Midnights, Mr. Hughes and Samu. The Nonconformists, Fred Ottman and the Warlord. Rock and Roll Express, Silent Rage of Flash Funk and Steve Blackman. Awesome team. The Tag Team Masters of the Brooklyn Brawler and Sean Casey. And your new heroines, Terry and Ivory. That's insane. That is insane. God damn. Stables, Bariqua's Nation, and the Truth Commission. Okay. New Japan is currently led by Keiji Muto, Masahiro Chono, Jushin Thunder Liger, Riki Choshu, and Kensuke Sasaki. Their champions. Most recent G1 winner was Shinya Hashimoto. IWGP Heavyweight Champion is Masahiro Chono. Junior Heavyweight is Kuniaki Kobayashi. Junior Tag Champs Koji Kanemoto and Kendo Kashin. Dylan, I don't know. He probably does. It's just sometimes the mods forget to... The mod creators forget to apply it. It happens on occasion. Company number 4 is All Japan. Led by Masawa, Kobashi, Kawada, Taue, and Jun Akiyama. God damn. What a roster. And then ECW. Highlighted by Rob Van Dam, Sabu, Taz, the Sandman, and New Jack. With their champions, RVD, who also has that picture issue. Tag champions of Ludwig Borga and Chris Candido. A.K.A. Exit Only. Jerry Lynn's the TV champion, and New Jack's the FTW champion, which is nuts. So yeah, there's some weird things going on. We are number 39 still. Number 39. We lost $5,000 last month, but we do have some momentum. So that's not too bad. That is not too bad. So, really quickly, events. We want this to run for an hour and a half, and we want Saturday night to run for 2 hours. 3 hours was too long. There we go. There we go. So, rookie roundup. We got to see if there's anybody new for us to hire. Also, other regions I was asked to check. So, Great Lakes, we can't hire anybody from because we'd have to pay for travel. But the future Danny Basham or Doug Basham, I forget, he was Danny. Jimmy Jacobs, Matt Cross, Matt Stryker, not that one. Bunch of guys who had a future in like CCW and shit. The Mid-Atlantic region. Good old Alpha Jr., who, what a career he had. Rico's out there at 37. That's nuts. Yeah, we'd have to pay for travel there, too. The Mid-South. Alicia Webb, JP Black, and Wife Beater. What a combo. The Midwest, Cody Hawk, Jeremy Borash, Lobo, and Nick Mondo. New England, Pete Gass, Rodney, and TJ Perkins. Again, I wish we could bring people in, but we can't afford the travel. Northwest, no new rookies from there. Southeast has Jason Cross, Jorge Estrada, Kevin Vampire Dude. It's Kevin Fertig. But again, his personality, I thought he was a loner, but it's driven. We might bring him in. Master P, Ruckus, the other Ruckus, Teddy Reed, and Vanessa Sanchez. Southwest, B-Boy, KJ Sakota, Marshall Knox, Mike Knox. He was the one with the loner personality. 10:15. Nick Gage, Charmel, and Tori Wilson. And then out of the Tri-State, Cliff Compton, Kurt Angle. God, I wish we could bring in Kurt. Loki, Orlando Jordan, Will Sasso. Crash, you already know. And then out of Puerto Rico, no new rookies this year. In Hawaii, nobody there. So really quickly, Canadian rookies include Eric Young, Sexy Eddie. Mexican rookies right now, Tejano Jr., Extreme Tiger, Fabi Apache. Please hire Will Sasso. I wish we could. British Isles, Johnny Moss. Not much going on there. Japanese rookies, Yoko Hamada, Genki Horiguchi, Jun Kasai, Namichi Marufuji, Ryo Saito. Not bad. Sasso for champ. Maybe someday. European rookie is Hate. And rookies out of Oceania, Nikki Nitro. I don't know who that is. Okay. Do we have, if we look at wrestler face, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I really don't have room to expand this roster any further. Yeah, honestly, it's too big of a roster as it is, so there's nobody there with respect to old Kevin Vampire Dude that we absolutely have to bring in. But, alright, I think that was everything that we wanted to check. So right now, we are still just desperate to hit 4 more popularity points in our home region. If we can. Paulie, elaborate. I'm not sure. Super Battle Golf Streamlin. Good question. Monk or Davos that's like, hey, have you seen this? And it's like, yeah, we might have to play that. We might. Lita's gotten an offer from a Japanese company. Okay. Booker T has a hernia. He'll be out for a few months. Fair enough. I'll buy it if we play right now. Yeah, of course, the second I fired up stream and we started chit-chatting, these guys like, hey, we're ready. We're ready. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Maybe I will switch to FIFA after all, brother. Maybe I will, dude. There's nothing crazy going on there. Just people signing contract extensions. I can't believe a random company. I can't believe a random company got gifted $25 million and it wasn't me. I'm so damn salty. I am so damn salty. Let's see. Good old Hugh Morris staying in WCW. Mr. Hugh G. Rection. Nicole Bass is going to All Japan Women. It's insane. All right. Get the night off. Tonight's venue. 117 fans expected. What's going on, Ender? Incidents. And any like Skipper hangout. Jamie Noble tried to help out Scott Putski. Didn't work. James Storm found a karaoke machine. A tale as old as time. All right. We need to see what we can do here. We got 8 segments on the show. Weird. How much do you think the NWA is actually worth nowadays? Not much. Not much is my response. I can't imagine it's worth a ton. Just find an old-ass sugar daddy mama and getting that will, brother. Honestly, that's probably the best advice anybody could have right now is, man, screw finding a career. Get in good shape. Find a 70-year-old, find like an 85-year-old man or woman. Get in there. And do what you gotta do. And do what you gotta do. Alright, we need some tag teams. Alright, let's do AJ Styles and James Storm, Chip Minton, and Rocky Romero. Let's also do Brent Albright and Ron Killings, Rodney Mack, and Trevor Murdoch. That leaves 3 dudes left who do not have a match. Damn it, if we're going to book you, you might as well have a match. Christopher Daniels, Lash LaRue, and Scott Putski. I put Chris Hero. This is why we often don't have multiple people named Chris. Alright, let's see what happens. Elix Skipper beats Ray Gordy. It's my Mount Rushmore of jobbers / enhancement talent. Peter Avalon 4 times. Johnny Stamboli beat David Flair. The Beer Community beats Rocky Road Truth Shooters and the Country Dogs. Way to go, the Beer Community. Super Dragon beats Ruckus. Brian Adias beats Blitzkrieg. Jamie Nobleboy defends the Western States title over Chris Hero. And then Tony Mamaluke and Hernandez beat Test and Charlie Haas. Right. And then dark main event, Scott Putski beats Daniels and Lash LaRue. Super Dragon, our popularity finally grew. We lost $800, but god damn it, we're now at 14 out of 17 popularity. Jesus. The grind continues. Oh, holy hell. Evan Courageous, Rob Van Dam staying, King Cobra leaves the business. A lot of people just staying where they are. Mike Tenay, he brought snacks. Jericho's staying in WCW this time. Dusty staying in WCW. Dusty Roads. Because there's no pavement. There's no pavement in Texas. Son of a plumber. Dusty. Let's see. Anybody else leaving? Like, WCW, the only person they're not going to bring back is Dean Malenko. Are you insane? You're going to bring back everybody else except for Dean Malenko. That's crazy. That is absurd. Absurd. WWF has a new stable. Kane, Vader, Bam Bam Bigelow, Golga, and Ivory. The Coalition. Paul Roma has left NWA Southwest. Japan made a touring offer to Scott Putski. I forgot Chip Minton's still the heavyweight champion of the NWA. I totally forgot about that. We made Chip Minton champion, damn it. Oh, Ed Ferrara, you scumbag. You scumbag. Hulk Hogan frustration. He's made it clear he cannot wait to get back into the crazy world of pro wrestling. The star, who hasn't been seen for a full year, says he'll be back sooner than you think, brother. Really? He hasn't wrestled in a year. Jeff Jarrett's the new WWF Intercontinental Champion. Now he's going to drop the belt to China in a good housekeeping match. God, 1999. We're just going to put every heavyweight in the same group. Look, man, they're just bringing about, big meaty men before it even happened. Just over to People's Elbow from the top rope for that ad break. Carnage, thank you for the 30 months. Welcome back.
Highly unnecessary.
You're just in time for Kendall Windham to stay in WCW.
Ball game for ruining a good piece of pizza.
Because who doesn't want that big Kendall Windham news? Kendall Windham. The, fourth most famous Windham. Let's see. Any other news? George Steele to say farewell. Fair enough. Did we grow in size yet? We're close. We got just a few more popularity points to go. But we are getting there. We should get there before we end up in the red. Hopefully. Don't really want to be operating at a loss at any point if I can help it. The Elio DiPaolo Memorial Show. I can't say I'm familiar with Elio DiPaolo. But the Yeti won the main event, so not bad. Not bad. Kim Duck set to leave All Japan. Mike Enos gets along well with Van Hammer. Mike Enos. He's an Enos. He's an Enos. All right, let's see. We will run the Holiday Skating Rink. Locker room incidents, drills. James Storm and Eddie Sharkey get along. James Storm and Sin do not. Cool, nothing crazy. All right, Elio DiPaolo's restaurant's amazing, by the way. I'll take your word for it. Can this be the Wild Brawl of the night? There we go. All right, who didn't get booked? See if we can find some tag combos. So we do have AJ and James Storm, the beer community. Let's do Ray Gordy and Lash LaRue, I guess. Heel-wise will be Brent Albright and Ron Killings, Rodney Mack, and Trevor Murdoch. And that leaves a triple threat match, because our auto booker does not like getting everybody on the card. Brian Adias, Christopher Daniels, Rocky Romero. Good luck, gentlemen. Jamie Noble and Blitzkrieg. That is for the Western States title. Let's put that belt on Blitzkrieg. Jamie Noble does not need to be a double champion anymore. He does not need to be a double champ anymore. And then Test and Chip Minton, or at least defending the tag titles. It's not against an actual tag team, though, but we'll just run it. Chris Hero beats David Flair. A match for the ages. Johnny Stamboli beats Elix Skipper. Homecoming of Ray Gordy and Lash LaRue beat the beer community, Truth Shooters, and the Country Dogs. LaRue and Gordy are, well, no positive notes about a tag team. Super Dragon beats Ruckus. Chris Hero was around this long ago. Yeah. Charlie Haas beats Tony Mamaluke. Blitzkrieg beats Jamie Noble to win the Western States title. Test and Chip Minton defend the tag titles for the 12th time, beating Scott Putski and Hernandez. And then Brian Adias wins a triple threat against Daniels and Rocky Romero. We are consistently putting on shows in the 40s. We're just going to run out of money. We are just going to run out of money. Coco in a way. Holly really signed. Dude, there's so many contracts that are coming due. Shout out to Molly Holly, though. Oh, goodness, goodness. All right, what else? No crazy news today. We keep going. We keep going. We are a minnow in this universe, but hopefully by the time we can build up this promotion to be something, the outside world will be interesting. Scott Putski's heading to New Japan. Didn't realize Hero was older than Claudio. I think it's because Claudio always looked old. You know, like even in like his younger days, he wasn't the youngest of gentlemen, you know? Especially the era of the hair, you know? The bald look helped him quite a bit. Wrath has a bruised eye socket. Great American Bash happened last night. What happened at the Bash? Sting retained the world title over Randy Savage. Regal over the Giant. Shawn Michaels over Lex Luger. Mysterio over Benoit. Medusa over Juventud. Flair over Disco Inferno. Scott Steiner beats Alex Wright. Would I have been excited, or would I be excited for that pay-per-view now? He might actually look younger now, honestly. Honestly. Oh, Mascara Sagrada. Bret Hart has a new catchphrase right here in the WCW. That catchphrase is, fuck Bill Goldberg. Flash Funk is the light heavyweight champion. Way to go, Scorpio. Ahmed Johnson strained a bicep. Disco Inferno bonds with Shawn Michaels. Jericho and Juventud got into an argument. Remember when Juventud randomly had a match with Chris Jericho on freaking Dynamite? That was weird. That was so weird. So weird. Let's see. Yeah, still no crazy news. Imagine they programmed this hate for Goldberg. And I mean, they could. And probably should have, let's be honest. And probably should have. HBK Disco Tag Team, dear God. Watch as Disco finally draws a dime because of who his tag partner is. Don Fry broke his jaw. Ridiculous. Nobody can hurt Don Fry. Look at the jury with the pie. Zesty, thank you for the 45 months. We had a 5-star match. Chono over Keiji Muto. Gets your 5-star match. That is fair. That is fair. I mean, you would expect that to be a 5-star match. It's freaking Muto and Chono. Oh, Super Astro. Miss Elizabeth shows up to Thunder, too drunk to work. Eddie Guerrero got into an argument with Silver King. God damn. It's just, WCW is nothing but people getting into arguments with one another. Kid Cash looking to stay with ECW. ECW now has Devon Dudley and the Godfather. Neo. What a weird company. Greg Pollock is the new NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion. Neat. Also, I just realized, backstage-wise, we wanted to do no drugs allowed, alcohol's fine, or no alcohol either. Smoking's fine. All right, according to Taker, that means it's better today. I'm very confused. I clearly said something and already forgot what I said. Oh, let's go to the holiday skating rink. 120 fans expected. Hernandez and Brent Albright get along. Hernandez and Brent Albright get along. Well, there we go. Book the show. Who did we leave off the show? Quite a few people. As per usual. We'll continue to try to build up this tag division. Everyone's screaming and arguing with each other backstage. I mean, you're right. Those were the good old days. Nowadays, these kids do nothing but play video games. How dare they? So we want Brian Albright and Ron Killings. We want Jamie Nobleboy and Brian Adias. And then, that is actually going to be it. Actually, you know what? We can just do a straight-up tag match. All these kids with their soda pops and their Mad Libs. Back in my day, men were men. We used to suds each other's asses up in the shower to really weed out the weak. That was a real thing that Bradshaw did to Edge, by the way. Not weird at all. Don't worry about it. It's not weird. It's not weird. Imagine playing video games. Are you a kid? We used to fucking H-bomb each other's drinks, brother. If you weren't passed out on a plane or you weren't a real man. Running by the pool and 100% horseplay. Let's see. There we go. All right, what's going to happen on this week's show? Christopher Daniels beats Ray Gordy. Thank God. At least Daniels is winning that. Chris Hero beats Elix Skipper. Rocky Road beats the Truth Shooters. Johnny Stamboli beats David Flair. Super Dragon beats Ruckus. The Country Dogs beat the Beer Community. Hernandez wins the Western States title. Blitzkrieg didn't even get one defense, the poor bastard. Didn't even defend the belt once. And then Test and Charlie Haas beat Scott Putski and Tony Mamaluke. And then Jamie Noble beats Brian Adias and Lash LaRue. Another 41 rated show. Not bad. Lost $800, but we're hanging in there. I know text like Danhausen was always going to get over from a WWE perspective, even though the debut, which I did end up watching, was fucking awful. You know, his shtick is perfect for a WWE. It was good for an AEW too, but in AEW, he's like, I want to wrestle more. And they're just like, eh. And now he's in WWE where, boy, he sure is wrestling more, isn't he? I say this as the Danhausen fan, of course. Vito has gotten a makeover. Is he wearing a dress? They all hated him, right? Yeah. He terrible, of course, when you're in one company, but great when you're in the other. Of course. Of course. Because the internet. The makeover was part of the settlement. We won't fire you, but please put on this dress. Mike Sanders is fully fit. Ahmed Johnson's healthy. All right, I think we can at least get through June here. And then, I don't know if the fellas still want to play any of the footy, which we were going to try to play, and then Monk disappeared for 45 minutes, and then I was already streaming at that point, and we were talking about stuff, and point is, blame Monkey Dude. How did the Limelight hack Myers? Not the Shah. Not the Shah. Somebody hire Hack Myers. Damon, like, Edge, you know, old Adam Copeland, he was filming something, so that's just why he's been off TV. Blame me and my phone for not giving proper... I will blame you and your phone. How dare you? Get a better phone. The Rock invents a new move. It's the Trash Panda Express. Hello to one Sid's Light. Sid, how was the e-fedding? I hope it went well. I'm still waiting in the cord. It's been an hour hanging on by a thread. Well, when Reaver and Monk are in there and you're like, hey, get in here, then maybe I'll get in there. Wrestling's fun, though. It is. Also, I do have to get up early tomorrow, so maybe we say tomorrow, like actually tomorrow, you know? Andy, what's up, dude? It was fun if you enjoyed your free copy. Sid, honestly, gameplay-wise, I was actually really enjoying it from what I played last night. I am going to be prioritizing MLB The Show, which comes out in less than 24 hours now. But if I had more free time, I would probably play more of it. I still, like, I swear, like, somebody must have watched a TEW stream and been like, yeah, screw it, we'll give this guy a copy of the game, because I didn't have a contact within 2K. The person that gave me the code reached out to me, so I'm like, oh, okay. I'll play it, sure. Because, like, the WWE 2K games they're good, man. They are good. Like, I'm not surprised that so many people were disappointed by, like, the AEW game, because, yeah, in comparison, like, the WWE game is so fleshed out. There's so much to it. There's so much to do. You know, or some of the things about, like, the Battle Pass and stuff like that. you know, is that a bit weird? And then apparently that, like, hey, here's a quick way to get the XP. They patched it out as quick as they could. Like, is some of that a little bit scummy? Yeah, a little bit. But, you know, it's to be expected, I suppose. But, no, like, the game proper and everything, I was enjoying quite a bit. I could see me playing it in my spare time. I could see me going back to it and kind of doing the community e-fed that that type of idea said that you've run before, because we did something like that in the past and had fun with it, and I think we could again. But like I said, with MLB and Out of the Park Baseball dropping, there's just a lot going on. It's a lot of games to play, which is a beautiful problem to have. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. But yeah, no, it was good. I didn't really check out the island because I didn't want to make a character. That showcase gauntlet is difficult as all hell. Holy God. No, it was good. The island is a crash fest. That's honestly what I've heard too, which is why I'm like, yeah, I don't need to worry about this. The Boogie Woogie Man showed up wasted on hard drugs. He's still boogieing too much. But yeah, like obviously it's, you know, it's 2K, so you have your card collecting mode and everything like that. It's like, it's to be expected, but you know, like the GM mode honestly looks pretty good, like how it's been further fleshed out. So I might have to do something there too. Do you like the Kevin Baird side? I do, actually. I do. Patriots haven't gotten any like the sexiest name free agents, but I think they're doing pretty well. Sid, that might be a way to finally get a crossover out of me as a GM mode. That might be the way to finally get your crossover. Outside of Chained Together, your favorite game of 2025. Oh, Hawk is staying, huh? Damn. They did get Romeo Dobbs too. You're fair. Fuck Chained Together. Come on, you love that game. What a great time Chained Together was. Just hate the ringside XP. I haven't seen anybody speak positively about that at all. Sid just had a non-flashback. Vince McMahon appeared on a national TV show last night helping promote the WWF. He did a decent, if unspectacular, job of representing the company. Watch my program! Yeah! We have Gold Dusts! Buy your limited edition WWF title-themed ball gag. Be just like Gold Dust. You thought it was bad when Al Snow had an action figure that shipped with head. Son of a bitch, Dean Malenko signed in WWF. I was hoping to get him for at least one show. Fuck you, Vince, for a variety of reasons, but especially that one. I was trying to get Sid up to speed on GM mode. Like I said, it looks fun, and I know there's an online component to it. I think we could have a blast with that, really. Smelly, fingers crossed. They are both advertising. OOTP and the show are both advertising Better Trade Logic. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hopeful, but we'll see. But yeah, that's like the improvements touted to the AI is the primary reason I never went back to MLB The Show 25, is because I'm like, all right, I ideally want to play with those elements improved, you know? Ideally. Ideally. All right, we got another show. Let's go to the bone. Ron Killings and Ray Gordy get along. Rodney Mack and Trevor Murdoch. Sin and Ruckus do not, but Rodney Mack and Baby Sharky do. Daniels and Sanders. All right, for the most part, our locker room gets along, which is good. That is a good sign. That is a good sign. Weird TW challenge if I always want to do can only sign wrestlers in the loading screen. That would be a nightmare, but I can see why that idea would be appealing. But that would be a nightmare. Four-way tag match. Exclude already booked. So we have AJ Styles and James Storm, the beer community. We have Lash LaRue and Mike Sanders. We have Brent Albright and Trevor Murdoch. We have Rodney Mack and Ron Killings. Let's just get more tag experience. And that leaves Rocky Romero versus Scott Putsky. Scott Putsky. I can't do a good Vince tonight. I'm sorry. Scott Putsky. Yeah, I just don't have the grain for it. All right. David Flair wins over Ray Gordy. Johnny Stamboli beats Christopher Daniels. Super Dragon and Elix Skipper beat Ruckus and Chris Hero. Jamie Noble promo. Hernandez defends the Western States title, beating Charlie Haas. Jamie Noble defends the heavyweight title over Blitzkrieg. Endo take it easy. And if we want to say, aim for some footy. Well, tomorrow's baseball launch night. If we were to play FIFA, I'd only be able to play from like 11 to 12. So, Test and Chip Minton once again defend the tag titles as they beat Brian Adias and Tony Mamaluke. And Scott Putsky beats Rocky Romero. The beer community. The Swarm and the Swarm. I mixed up the tag teams. That's what happened. Lost to the Board of Education. Mixed up those tag teams. Whoops. 7-minute Jamie Noble Boy promo. Not long enough. Give me an hour. So again, lost about $800. That's okay. You got to spend money to make money, baby. You got to spend money to make money. We're spending way too much money, but that's okay. Where's Tommy Dreamer? Tiger Jeet Singh's gone from New Japan. Triplemania. Paraguayo star of the show. Oh, I miss the days of Triple Mania being just an absolute shit show. Tonight's venue, 165 fans expected at the Holiday Skating Rink. Chip versus Noble Iron Man match, but it's a promo. Yeah, we did get some creative ideas. All right, let's see what we can do. 9 total segments. Bunch of dudes not projected to be on the show. So that means the Teddy Long special, that's a tag match player. So we want the team of AJ Styles and James Storm, the beer community, against Chip Minton and Rocky Romero. Lash LaRue and Mike Sanders are a tag team. And then the heel side, well, we do need to leave one babyface team available. So let's do Brent Albright and Ron Killings, Rodney Mack, and Trevor Murdoch. And then that leaves us with LaRue and Sanders against Jamie Nobleboy and Scott Putsky. Fair enough. Fair enough. Lash LaRue and Mike Sanders, the Board of Education. It's Jamie Nobleboy and Scott Putsky. That'll be the post-show main event. Ever played the TNA game? I have. I owned it back in the day. I haven't played it in many years, but I enjoyed it, even though the movesets were super limited. But it was a really fun game. Looked great, too. Christopher Daniels beats Chris Hero. Christopher Daniels kindly used his superior skills to make Chris Hero look strong. Cool. Sounds like we have the next stream game. It would be fun to go back to. Definitely be a one-night thing, though. Rocky Road of Chip Minton and Rocky Romero win that 4-team tag match. Ruckus beats Elix Skipper. Johnny Stamboli beats David Flair. Super Dragon beats Ray Gordy. Brian Adias promo. Blitzkrieg beats Tony Mamaluke in a match where Mamaluke broke some ribs. Hernandez makes his second defense of the Western States title, beating Charlie Haas. We get a Test promo. And then Test beats Brian Adias. While Jamie Noble and Scott Putski beat the Board of Education. 42 rated show. We're just hanging in there. All right, Tony Mamaluke is going to be out for 3 weeks. We lost $600 on that show. We could do even better financially, but I'm taking a risk. I'm taking a risk for excitement's sake. All right, so we want Tony Mamaluke. We are going to give you 3 weeks off to heal up those ribs, pal. See you later. Wish my dad enjoyed more wrestling games. He's a super fan. He only really enjoys the N64 games. Rightfully so. Rightfully so, because that is still the GOAT era. Paul Heyman got into an argument with Tony Hallman. Boy, I wonder why Jewish Paul Heyman would get into an argument with Nazi sympathizer Finn Tony Hallman. Weird. I wonder why they wouldn't get along. That is just tough to wrap your head around why they wouldn't get along. That is so weird. Huh. That is just bizarre. My sweet Bertha Faye. Let's see. Holy. Let's see. What do we got? Mike Awesome's heading to All Japan. Billy Gunn is the new European champion. The Rock is the 1999 King of the Ring. New Japan have disbanded the Night. Sable has turned face. Stone Cold got into an argument with Sonny. Ricky Morton bonds with Robert Gibson. Huh. Weird. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that? That is just bizarre. Huh. All right. Jacqueline mentoring Molly Holly. Brian Clark is fully fit. Nothing too crazy outside of that 68 sex appeal for Lance Storm. It's the rat tail. Although I think he did cut the rat tail by this time. I do wish we could expand the roster. Like, again, the roster's already too freaking big. But there's nobody that I really want to cut. I mean, if we were to cut anybody, it'd probably be like Johnny Stamboli. It's like, but I want to keep Johnny Stamboli. If anything, it's not high enough. I mean, look, Lance Storm could do a mean Cabbage Patch, okay? Lance Storm could do a mean Cabbage Patch. Like, I know you can count the individual pixels here, but like, Party Boy Lance Storm. The best gimmick. Holy shit, this video is literally only in 144p. Christ. Sort by sex appeal. Hire the sexiest people. Profit? Honest. You know, that would actually be a fun challenge. Is only being able to sign people of a certain attribute level, right? Rob Van Dam signed with IWA Mid-South. Chris Benoit bonds with La Parka. Shits and giggles. I do wonder, like, if we were to say, like, 90, it'd probably be 80 sex appeal, but, like, 90 sex appeal. Jenna Jameson as a celebrity, Jenny McCarthy, Pamela Anderson. So that would leave us Sable, Sonny, and The Rock. So if we went down to 80... Whoops. Oh my god. If we went down to 80... There we go, a lot more options. And most of them are in the WWF. Or WWF adjacent. Tom Marie, Deborah, call it XPW, basically. Eddie Guerrero, 80 sex appeal. I mean, he is Latino Heat, after all. That would be a really funny promotion. No, I would call it Sports Entertainment Extreme. It's not Jenna Jameson, that's Miss Dudley. Shocker at an 80. You know why. Oh, God. That's not Jenna Jameson. That's Val Venus's co-star. Tuki Russo strikes again. All right, and we have hit the 1st of July, so we have hit the midway point of the year. So far, the male wrestler of the year is on pace to be Chris Benoit. Company of the year is on pace. Ghost Poner, hell of a name. What's up? Company of the year so far is the WWF. Female tag team of the year, Las Cachorras Orientales. Etsuko Mita and Mima Shimoda. Male tag team of the year so far, Sweet and Sour, Davey Boy Smith and Ultimo Dragon. Match of the year so far, Chono versus Muto. Show of the year so far, Summer Struggle Day 2. Male young wrestler of the year so far is Juventud. Some jabroni named Juventud. Female young wrestler of the year is Chikayo Nagashima. Male veteran wrestler of the year so far is the Nacho Man. Where is the Nacho Man? Female veteran of the year so far is Deborah. Female wrestler of the year so far is Medusa. Male independent wrestler of the year so far is Super Leather. Okay. Fit Finley's been named a chief enforcer in WCW. Ian Rotten wants to be more of a hardcore wrestler than a psychopath. Don't worry, you'll always be viewed as a psychopath. WCW is still ahead of WWF. We have moved up to number 37. Just behind the only other significant promotion that's ahead of us, which is JWP. So we're close. We got some momentum, low prestige. We got $19,000 left. Fuck. Maybe we should optimize the roster just a little bit. I don't want to, but I feel like we should. I mean, we got 13 faces, 13 heels. What if we cut it down by 3 faces, 3 heels? Are we on TV yet? No. So probably like Ruckus, Ray Gordy, and Johnny Stamboli. Those would probably be the ones to cut. And then heel-wise, probably Brian Adias again. Probably Putski again. I mean, those are guys that do have popularity in the region, though. I don't know, maybe Tony Mamaluke. You know, we don't got to worry about it yet. We still have money. We know we can go pretty deep into the red, too, so. But if there's certain rookies available, that could certainly, certainly change my opinion. So let's see. Based in Mid-Atlantic, we can't hire, right? Yeah, without covering travel costs. So, the Mid-South. Well, Ruckus has moved here. Otherwise, nobody knew. Midwest. We already got Trevor Rhodes. Nobody knew. We have Chris Hero, too. Northwest, nobody knew. Southeast. I really do need to put to higher. Outside of old Kevin Vampire dude. There's really nobody that we'd want. Sylvester Turkai has appeared. It would be fun to get Sylvester Turkai, but not until we have more money. So, nobody too crazy to bring in right now, if we're being honest. If we're being honest, nobody too crazy to bring in. All right. Let's see. Company size then. We're at a 14 in the Mid-South. We're 3 points away from tiny company size. Wonder if there's enough minis on the roster. That depends. I mean, I can sort by height. We can say anybody under, like, 5'5". Yeah, I mean, that's quite the roster of people under 5'5". Yeah, honestly, you probably could do a minis only. The island just crashed on me in the middle of my XP boost. That's what you get. It's what you get. How dare you want to play a game at launch? The Short Kings Challenge. So many possibilities for another challenge after this, right? So many. What's going on, by the way, Frankie? Waiting to see if certain people do end up leaving. Luis Spicoli showed up too high to work. Can't even beat up easy. Yeah, I saw that they patched that. I didn't even get a chance to do that. I was told about it last night, and then bam, they fixed it. Let's see. To hire, not a negative influence backstage. Based in the Mid-South. So, of course, the problem here is I wish I could sort by who... I wish I could sort by asking price, basically. Because, like, Terry Funk's available, but, dude, he wants $1,700 a show. He'd bankrupt me immediately. So we're still stuck to, like, under $100 per show. We had Mike Sullivan for a while. Max Payne, but he's retired. Give me status, active wrestler, role wrestler. Funaki would be too expensive. Chris Germany, Ken Wayne, Cronus. This is why we were still looking at mostly rookies, because it's not that great unless we wanted to bring in 51-year-old Black Bart. Doom, American Eagle, Shane Shamrock. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anybody particularly that had, let's do popularity anywhere of at least a 20. Is there a wrestling game you really enjoy that most don't like? I don't know, like, a game like SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, a lot of people didn't like. I didn't mind it. I think that game has only probably aged worse because of SVR 2011 after it was very highly touted. But honestly, a game I like that most don't, AEW Fight Forever. It's exactly what I wanted that game to be. Just load it up, do a match or two, go play something else. Sometimes it's all I want to do. It's just load it up, waiting for the 08 jump scare. So see, I don't remember 08 being as bad as it is, but obviously I've watched a lot of New Legacy, and I now understand how bad it was. But, like, back in the day as a kid, like, I was 13 when that game came out. Like, I was just happy to have a new wrestling game, you know? So yeah, like, I don't recall hating that game as a kid, but I definitely understand, like, ooh, it didn't age great. Are there any sumo games? That I don't know. That I don't know. I hope there are. But I have never seen, like, even, like, a random sumo game advertised. Which is pretty surprising. Sumo video games. List of sumo video games. Published exclusively in Japan. There's quite a few. The last one, holy shit, dude. There hasn't been a sumo game released in Japan since 2002. Published internationally. Sumotori Dreams for the PC in 2000. Yeah, dude, like, no. There was one for the Wii called Eat Fat Fight in 2009. But yeah, there really aren't that many like sumo video games. It's kind of surprising. Flash LaRue, Mike Sanders. All right, we can do some combinations here. Let's do Chris Hero and Ruckus. David Flair and Scott Putsky, Elix Skipper, and Jamie Noble. That leaves Ray Gordy off the card. But give him some promo time, I guess. Pre-show, quick angle, cut a promo. Ray Gordy. Go out there and talk, buddy. Right, Johnny Stamboli beats Christopher Daniels. The beer community beats the country dogs. Ray Gordy promo got a 24. That's not bad. Charlie Haas beats Super Dragon. Rocky Road beats the Truth Shooters. Blitzkrieg beats Brian Adias. Chipman Rocky Romero promo. Test promo. Test beats Hernandez to win back the Western States title. Chris Hero and Ruckus beat the Board of Education. Flair and Putsky. Skipper and LaRue and Sanders, we know, are a good team. No other notes. Popularity up again. We got a 49 on that show. Lost $800. But we are now up. We are 2 away. I might just have to brute force this tonight. And just see if we can get to that next company size, because it has been a long time in the making. Stephanie McMahon is rising. Sounds like a fucking Chris Jericho joke. Legends of Wrestling games weren't good, but I liked them. I did too. I grew up with those Legends of Wrestling games too. And I know they didn't age overly well, but like, am I nostalgic for like Legends of Wrestling Showdown? Fuck yeah, I am. Like, the rosters were nuts. Like, it was a good time. They weren't great games, though, but I still enjoy. Because, again, like, those games came out when I wasn't really concerned about what a great game was. I was just happy to have a new game. You know? Ultimate Dragon's going to feud with Chris Jericho. Kurt Hennig has been cut from the NWO. Greg Valentine's going to be leaving WCW. Fair enough. Oh, I wish we could bring in Kevin Vampire, dude, but damn. I haven't played in forever. Backyard Wrestling. Okay, now those games sucked. The Backyard Wrestling games sucked. I played them, but boy, did they suck. Like, they are objectively bad games. It's not that you can't have fun with them. They were objectively bad games. It's also the era of renting. That too. Good times. You know, I know a lot of people my age and older, of course, always hype up, like, hell, man, going to fucking Blockbuster movie gallery or even a mom and pop. Like, dude, we had a place that was a 5-minute walk away. So on Friday night, we would go down to this place, we'd get a pizza, and I'd be allowed to rent a game or a movie. And on my birthday, I'd be allowed to rent both if we went around that time. So the amount of times I rented like fucking Donkey Kong Country and then got like a 1998 WWF pay-per-view on VHS, like, the good days. The good days, the good times. Did the Def Jam games feel like wrestling games? Yes, Altex, because they were supposed to be. The first Def Jam game was essentially a reworked WCW game. Because EA had the license to make a WCW game, and they went under. So yeah, like Def Jam, Vendetta, Fight for New York, they're both great games and have a lot of wrestling influence. In that case, Def Jam Fight for New York's my favorite wrestling game. That's fair. We got to agree to disagree. Oh, BBG, you're new to talking to Reaver, aren't you? You're new to having conversations with Reaver, aren't you? The agree to disagree is when you stop engaging in the conversation. Because that man will go. With respect, Reaver is the nope, Kevin Bacon wasn't in Footloose of this chat, and it's delightful. They feel like fighting games made by an old wrestling game developer? Yes. Taker's gonna feud with Stone Cold. Hogan and Saturn don't get along. Now, I've missed this conversation. RE6 is absolutely a Resi game. That I agree with, and I've never even played it. Like, let's be honest. Resident Evil 6 is one of the most important of the Resident Evil games. Because the backlash to Resi 6 is what directly led them to going, you know what, let's try something different. Led to Resi 7. And then that, that got the Resident Evil series back on track with, like, Village and 9. Which, again, I've still been thinking about Resi 9. That is a really fucking good game. So. Now, Fire Pro, I don't have a dog in the fight because I'm not as familiar with Fire Pro. Speaking of RE6, is each of the 4 campaigns a different story? That's a Reaver question. That's a Reaver question. God, I want to expand the roster, but we don't have the money. I shouldn't even have this big of a roster. It's so tough going from WCW, where we had the money, to just be like, yeah, let's develop talent. And now I'm just hoping to get to this next company size. At least we're putting on good shows, though. Let's see. Rocco Rock showed up in no condition. Dude, that WCW locker room is a fucking nightmare right now. Glacier's going to ECW. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Glacier in ECW. Fuck yeah. Let's see. Tonight's venue. Holiday skating rink. 117 fans expected. Okay. Jamie Noble and Hernandez. Like I said, the good thing is most of this locker room does get along, though. That's the good thing. Glacier versus New Jack, baby, for the FTW heavyweight title. All right. The match aims, we do have to sort. Daniels and Gordy, just go out there and do what you got to do. There we go. All right, and as we do, can we book some tag teams? AJ Styles and James Storm, Lash LaRue and Mike Sanders, Rodney Mack and Trevor Murdoch, Hernandez and Jamie Nobleboy. That'll leave Rocky Romero with nothing to do. So we'll give Rocky Romero some promo time. And see what he can do. Spot yourself a million. Well, that wasn't the challenge. That wasn't the challenge. top 5 of the worst WWE games. I mean, BBG, let's be honest, like, most of them are going to be pre-2000, you know? Like, if we're being honest, most of them are pre-2000. Or, like, non-main consoles. Like, obviously, the answers have got to be, like, the fucking Game Boy games and shit like that, right? Like, those are the legitimate answers. Okay, Test and Ship Minton. You guys need to lose these tag titles because you're not actual options. WWE games, not WWF. Okay, so, really quickly. Winner, R-Truth. Chip Minton's unhappy. God damn it, hold on. Keep strong, Chip Minton. So, if we're counting, like, actual games, right? Like, we're not counting fucking NES, Super Nintendo. We're not counting the Game Boy or the fucking Wii. Then we need to consider, God, the worst WWE games. The worst WWE games, specifically. Yeah, so see, like, if you look at this list, right? If you look at this list. So obviously, like, a bunch of these, right? Through the 90s. Dude, like, the arcade games were okay. But, like, let's be honest, most of these would probably be in that conversation, right? For worst. So the first bad one, this is primary video games. Interesting. Because it doesn't have Raw. That's going to be further down. SmackDown vs. Raw 08 is probably up there. I don't know if it's bottom 5, though. 2K15, there were growing pains to the new consoles. 2K20 is absolutely on there, and the number one answer. That's absolutely the number one answer, is 2K20. WrestleMania 21 for the OG Xbox, absolutely atrocious. That is absolutely on the top 5 worst list. Battlegrounds is probably on the top 5 worst list. You could put Raw or Raw 2 up there. I have a bit of a soft spot for those games. I don't think they're great. They're especially bad compared to what was on the PlayStation and the Xbox. I don't know if they're bottom 5 bad. A lot of people would have Legends of WrestleMania up there. And again, we're not including the mobile games and stuff like that. Crush Hour was fucking dope. So, worst WWE/WWF games if we're not considering the 90s, because again, like, fucking Warzone would have to be on there. We'll go in no particular order. SmackDown vs. Raw 08. Honestly, probably 2K15, because again, there were just some growing pains with that. 2K20 does probably take the number 1 spot. WrestleMania 21 is definitely up there. And then Battlegrounds. If someone wanted to make an argument about Raw 2, or Legends of WrestleMania, I get it, but that is my top 5. I would much rather play Legends of WrestleMania and Raw 1, Raw 2 than, like, WrestleMania 21. What were the first two? SmackDown vs. Raw 08 and 2K15. If someone wanted to say 08 and 2K15 are off the list and put, like, the Raw series on there, or at least one of the games in Legend of WrestleMania, I'd get it. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I would sub the first Raw. The thing about Raw, though, is these games, they weren't great, right? But they did have some stuff going for them, particularly in presentation. And I am a slut for details. And there were certain things about these games. And if I'm not mistaken, I think 616. Yeah, he did a pretty good video. If you guys are wrestling fans and you've never watched 616 Entertainment, I highly recommend it. He does talk about these games, and yes, they are bad. But there are certain details to these. I don't know if I can find the clip. But, like, for example, with entrances, there are certain details where the game looks pretty good. You know, again, I don't know if I can find an entrance, but like the entrances, the presentation look good. Like right here, I can't find the clip, but like Big Show is tall enough that he has to duck under to clear it. And it's like details like that you just don't get in any other of the WWE games. So again, like there were some cool things. I'm not gonna sit here and say these games were amazing though, because they weren't. I just don't know if there's a conversation for it to be top 5 worst, but I can't immediately put it there like I can 2K20 and especially WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 21 is dog water. That's an actual bad game. Let's see. Christopher Daniels beats Ray Gordy. Chris Hero beats Elix Skipper. Rocky Romero promo. Ruckus beats David Flair. Super Dragon beats Johnny Stamboli. Putski and Adias beat Haas and Blitzkrieg. And we have the Truth Shooters win the tag titles because Test and Ship Minton aren't an actual tag team, so I needed to get the belts off of them so it would actually put Chip Minton with Rocky Romero. And then, of course, we know everybody there except Hernandez and Jamie Noble are a pre-built tag team. Okay. Not a bad show, though. Completely off topic, but I saw a clip of the new Pokemon game, and it's an escort mission for Slowpoke. Yeah, the Pokepia thing is interesting to me. It is interesting. Other video games. There was something else that was mentioned. But, yeah, shout out to Crush Hour, by the way. But the non-mobile games, handheld exclusives. Royal Rumble for Dreamcast was also okay. It's definitely not bottom 5. Definitely not bottom 5. That also had some cool things going on, especially, like, how many people could be in the ring at one time. Because they had 8 characters, like, well before SmackDown vs. Raw had them. Which is nuts. That they had those, that character limit that early. But, you know, Attitude was bad because of the ship of acclaim. And, I mean, Warzone, Attitude, the ECW games that followed, they were awful. They were awful. I grew up with them. They were fucking terrible. Dr. Luther goes to Big Japan. So does Terry Funk, WCW, LA Melee 99. But yeah, for anybody who didn't grow up with like Warzone or Attitude, those games were made by Acclaim. And the problem was... Nitro and Thunder were bad too, don't get me wrong. The problem with these games is that you needed to do Mortal Kombat-like inputs for basic actions. So nowadays, like, if you wanna grapple in WWE 2K, you hit one button. This was like, okay, down left, C left, the yellow on like the N64 controller, and that was just to do a basic kick. So literally everybody had to like do a finisher, you needed to input like a fucking Mortal Kombat combo. And just it did not work. It absolutely did not work. Those games were awful. Those games were so bad. So bad. I was a big WrestleMania the Arcade game fan. That's fair. So what'd the Konami code do? I don't even think they were cool enough to make the Konami code a thing. Let's see. Billy Kidman won the hardcore title at Bash at the Beach. What else happened at Bash at the Beach? Sting retained the world title. Flair and Bret Hart beat Savage and Hall. Ultimo Dragon kept the U.S. title. Regal over the Giant. Medusa over Juventud. Shawn Michaels beat Finlay in the undercard. What a weird time. What a weird time. And then just bring it shat the bed. I don't know if I'd say shat the bed. It definitely didn't like fully live up to what it could have been. But you know, Hogan returns, gets a title shot, probably doesn't get pinned. Butterbean lost an MMA fight. Johnny Knoxville got his revenge. Mark Marrow looking to stay at the WWF. It wasn't bottom 5 bad, but I remember in WrestleMania 19 on the GameCube story mode where Stephanie hired your COD to sabotage WrestleMania. Look, man, those GameCube games were so fucking fun. And maybe I'm just, I'm a little bit biased because I didn't have those games myself. I didn't have a GameCube growing up, so the only time I got to play WrestleMania 18 and 19 were at friends' houses. I always really liked those games, though. 19 was certainly a hell of a lot better than 18. And then the GameCube started getting, like, the Day of Reckoning series, which was great. See, there is a part of me, though, right? There is a part of me that, like, if I was a kid, I would so be all over WWE 2K. Like, I get the microtransactions and everything, but dude, those games are good. Like, obviously looking at it from like the adult perspective where I don't have that emotional attachment to like the roster that I'm growing up with or stuff like that. But if you gave me WWE 2K26, but it was called the OG SmackDown versus Raw and had that roster, I wouldn't play anything else. That's the only game I'd play. Bill Banks looking to leave WWF. Is he a writer for them? He must be. But yeah, like honestly, because that's like my only issue with WWE 2K26, and we only played it for one night, but I was really enjoying it last night. It's just I don't have that attachment to the roster because I don't watch WWE anymore, you know? So, 400 wrestlers on one game to a 13-year-old me would have made my head explode, right? No kidding. What's a wrestling game that you think had good gameplay, but the roster choice was bad? I mean, around the 400, yeah. There you go. The roster for like SmackDown vs. Raw, the first one, was a bit limited. They had some weird choices in some of those early SmackDown vs. Raw games, where yeah, you just had interesting exclusions that didn't really make sense, but that was just kind of how it worked out. If 2K26 had the AEW roster, dude, I wouldn't play anything else. I would not play anything else. If that game was AEW 2K26, I gotta be honest, I would be a shill and I would ignore the microtransactions. I'd be like, no, they're not that bad. I'd be so happy. Just bring it head Fred Durst. It wins by default. That's true. Forget what SmackDown vs. Raw it was, but I vaguely remember one of the Divas using a wand. Yeah, that was 07. Good old Candice Michelle. JP Black wants to hang out. No. Trevor Murdoch, Rodney Mack hanging out. Sanders and Lash hanging out. Good, because you fuckers are tag teams. Managed with the 2K series that you create a community is being absolutely shat. BBG, I have seen stuff like that because I do follow certain creators because I'm always impressed with what they do, even if I don't play the game. And yeah, it is a shame that the community creation scene keeps getting handcuffed because there are some wickedly talented people out there. Want the gameplay of Fight Forever with the extensiveness of 2K? I wouldn't complain about that either. Would not complain about that either. Alright, let's get our tag match in there to get that chemistry up. Oh, tag titles can be in this match. Cool. There you go. A dark match for the tag titles. And then who else hasn't been booked? Triple threat match. That will be Hernandez, Rocky Romero, god damn it, Rocky Romero and Test. Western States title can apparently be on the line. Let's do it. Had the creative itch, but you're having a laugh. You think I'm paying $150? Yeah, no kidding, right? Raiders, thank you very much for the 11 months. Welcome back. Yeah, the whole $150 version is crazy. Like, I mean, that's probably a larger issue with the state of games right now, you know? It's just like the people that are like, I never buy new games. I wait 2 or 3 years tops for these games to go on sale for like, oh, $15 all the DLC, all the bugs are fixed because, you know, you didn't play the game at launch. Like, yeah, it's a better way to do it. And it works perfectly if you're not an online player, right? All right, no new tags there as Flair and Skipper beat Hero and Gordy. Shout out to the Daniel Garcia theme. The beer community of AJ Styles and James Storm are the new tag team champions. Ruckus beat Christopher Daniels. Haas and Stamboli promo. As Haas has sustained knee ligament damage, Brian Adias and Super Dragon beat he and Stamboli. Jamie Noble promo. Chip Minton beats Scott Putski. And Jamie Noble defends the world title over Blitzkrieg. Test beats Hernandez and Rocky Romero. It's our first show under a 40 in a while. And Charlie Haas is going to be out for a month. Well, at least that'll get costs down. I'll catch up on chat in a second here. Just got to make sure we give Charlie Haas that time off because I don't need him showing up for promos and costing me money. So, Charlie Haas, time off, 1 month. See you later, Charlie. All right, need to go back to King of the Coliseum. Me too. I mean, I've seen the New Legacy channel play enough of those Japanese exclusive games. I really do need to play them. So, only problem with that for WWE games is servers go offline. Well, not that quickly though. If it's 2 years, you're fine. You know. If it's only like 2 years. You know, honestly, most of those games, like the $150 version of WWE 2K26, you're going to be able to get for like $30 within the next 12 to 18 months. You know? I mean, BBG, you might be able to, I mean, emulation's difficult, but you might be able to find those files online. Let's see, what do we got? Mark Marrow staying in WWF. Taz beat New Jack for the FTW title. Heatwave 99, where Glacier beat Jerry Lynn for the ECW television title. I'm going to want to play it physically, Slut. Well, then get boned, nerd. You don't have a choice. They like they did with 2K25 at $150 version for like $50-$60. Yeah. That's how it goes. Like I said, the only reason for me that I buy the yearly release sports games, or, you know, in this instance with WWE 2K, I was lucky enough to get a code, but the only reason I would buy the yearly release sports games is if I was going to play online. If I would never play online, I would not get these games. I just wouldn't do it. You know, especially too, you know, like Madden, it's like, it's easy enough to just download someone's off-season roster file, the draft classes, right? And then just like every other year get Madden type of thing. Like, it'd be easy enough. Very, very easy. Vince and Gerald Briscoe don't get along. Shocker. Someone's probably tired of getting yelled at. It's 2:21 in the morning. I should be sleeping. Hello, Bacon Lover. I should be too, in fairness. To be fair, also content creation. Yeah. Well, again, that's the only reason, right? Online or content creation is the only reason to get these games right now. Unless you're just really, really into it. XPW has arrived. Rob Black is looking for a booker. No, thank you. No, thank you. And they have immediately gone to war with ECW. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, let's just see if we can at least get to the end of this month. I don't think we'll hit that that popularity level that we're looking for. That's okay. Let's see, nothing new. Cool. We just keep going. Raiders, I was going to say to you as well, yeah, the Max Crosby saga has certainly been interesting. I saw his post where he's like, hey, I'm staying now. And it's like, oh, well, we'll see. Maybe the Raiders do try to move him again. Don't know if they'll get the price they did before, but, you know, well, the price they didn't get before. New match of the year. Juventud and Chris Jericho over Eddie Guerrero and Ultimo Dragon by DQ on Thunder is up there for match of the year. Another show where Louis Spicolli was unable to perform as he was, quote, high as a kite. All right. A 100 rated match that ended in a DQ on a Thunder in the summer of 1999. Because why not? All right. How does the match end by DQ? It's just, yeah. It's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. All right, let's see. We still got people who didn't get onto the show. On a Thunder, no less. Yeah, you wouldn't think a B show could hit that level of a match grade, but what do I know? I'm not a doctor. Chip Minton and Rocky Romero. Lash LaRue and Mike Sanders. Brent Albright and Ron Killings. And we'll also test out Christopher Daniels and Jamie Noble as a tag team. Imagine being so good the game says 100 after the DQ penalty. All right, so that leaves Brian Adias, Hernandez, and Test in a triple threat. It can even be on the pre-show. Why not? Doesn't need to be for the Western States title. Let's see. Ruckus beats David Flair. Hernandez beats Brian Adias and Test. Super Dragon and Elix Skipper beat Chris Hero and Ray Gordy. The Beer Community defend the tag titles over the Country Dogs. Tony Mamaluke beats Johnny Stamboli. Blitzkrieg got a actually half-decent promo in there. Putski promo. Putski beats Blitzkrieg. And then Rocky Road beats the Board of Education, the Truth Shooters, and Daniels and Jamie Noble, who unfortunately do not have the tag chemistry I was hoping for. That show got a 35. That's okay. Still losing about $800 a show. We'll continue to sacrifice for the moment. We could continue to conserve money, but I think we're all right. Let's see. Got people heading to New Japan for a tour, including Savio Vega, Horace Hogan, Nazi, Super Crazy, Joel Deaton. Horace Hogan is on the move. All right. Goodness. I do wish we could expand the roster, but we're definitely going to have to shorten it up before that. Heartland has a financial warning. They are almost $250,000 in the red. They don't call them just Horace. They failed. Oh, goodness. ECW out of control. Just Incredible bruised a tailbone. Tony Gurria's staying. People getting into arguments. Carlos Cabrera's leaving WWF, apparently. Paul Diamond. Oh, goodness. Good old Horace Hogan. The best Hogan. We'll switch to New Japan. We'll be, and we'll set up Horace Hogan to be our Stone Cold. Bison Smith gets an offer. Ron Killings fractured a cheekbone at an EWF show. It says he'll be out for a couple of weeks. I guess we'll just give him a couple weeks off then to play it safe. I don't need you putting in lesser performances. We'll see you in 2 weeks, buddy. All Japan bringing in people for their next tour. Taka Michinoku is the new light heavyweight champion. Ivory is the new women's champion. Phil LaFawn beat Jeff Jarrett for the Intercontinental title. And Stone Cold Steve Austin is the new WWF champion, beating Goldust for the title in Boston. Beat Goldust, Taker, and The Rock in a 4-way tables match. The show also featured Cactus Jack beating Mabel, Kane and Vader over Mark Marrow and Sergeant Slaughter, Triple H over Al Snow, Sid over Blackjack Wyndham. What a card. What a card. Fully loaded 1999, which I think in real life was in Buffalo. Bother anyone else that out of the park baseball game sets its years a year ahead. Probably. It bothers you. So that's somebody. What non-sports game do you feel gets most burned by when it comes to expectations versus reality? Rightfully or wrongly? Because, like, rightfully, you had a game like Watch Dogs back in the day that, you know, didn't live up to the hype, especially from a graphical standpoint. Wrongly, a game that got burned when it came to expectations versus reality, but that wasn't fair. Dare I say Ukulele? That is the first game that came to mind for me, because so many people were essentially expecting it to be Banjo-Kazooie 3, and it was never going to fully be that. I'm not saying it was the greatest game of all time, but I still had fun with it. See, No Man's Sky rightfully deserved it first, and they made it better. Well, I feel like that's a different question, though, right? To be like, hey, because, yeah, like No Man's Sky at the beginning definitely got rightfully criticized. But then, yeah, like, they're in that conversation of like, okay, you rightfully got criticized. Anybody else? Oh, I missed the anybody else. Sorry. Anthem was hype back in the day. I got my money back the same day. Anthem definitely fits the what people felt most burned by, and rightfully so. Because that was definitely one of them. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts ruled. So, Ripley, I despised that game because... I meant, what game did I get burned by? Oh, okay. Nuts and Bolts I did get burned by because I wanted more Banjo-Kazooie. That game didn't exactly feel like Banjo-Kazooie. It felt like a different game where they slapped the IP onto it. That said, if that game had its own, like, unique characters and stuff like that, would that have been a fun game? Yes, and let's be honest, like, they had a lot of elements to that game that something like fucking Tears of the Kingdom took over a decade later, you know? But it just really wasn't a Banjo-Kazooie game. But honestly, that would be up there for me as one of those games that I personally got burned by. God, what's a game that I got burned by? From an online standpoint, GTA 5. You know, what, it took 2 or 3 years post-launch for, like, Heist to come out? I definitely felt burned by GTA. And Red Dead 2, for that matter, with Red Dead Online. See, Bulldog won the WCW television title. Yeah, Rockstar Games have had a habit of over-promising and under-delivering in certain regards at launch. God. God, let me see. Like Xbox. Let's see. My Xbox achievement list. Can I see online without having to load up my Xbox? Best thing for Red Dead and GTA are the RP servers. No kidding. Can I see my Xbox achievements online? Are they still trackable, or are they tied to the fucking mobile app? Oh. I don't know. I'm trying to remember a lot of games, you know? There's just so many games I've played over the years, it's tough to remember. You know me, I take questions like that way too seriously. Red Dead RP is nice and chill, because it takes long to do anything. That's fair. Problem is, if I were to do anything fucking Red Dead RP related, it would just be 5 hours of me talking like dusty roads. Out on the trails, here we go, with my horse. Like, that's just all I would do, is just dusty roads, plays Red Dead. It'd be a great time. Let's see. Tag match player. Chip Minton and Rocky Romero. Lash LaRue and Mike Sanders. Brent Albright. Ooh. Let's try Hernandez and Jamie Noble, Rodney Mack, and Trevor Murdoch. I would watch 5 hours of that. Of course you would. You're a psychopath. That leaves Brent Albright and Ray Gordy. Let me book that match. Brent Albright and Ray Gordy, pre-show. I got told the ones that doing a Jar Jar voice wasn't real. Misa gonna herd some cattle. Like, goddamn. You imagine like a 5-hour stream of that? For sports games, mine was NHL Stanley Cup on the SNES. Luckily, that was returns back. They had Toys R Us. Oof. That's fair. God, I don't know. Like, one of my first real disappointments probably would have been like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's tough to think of, like, one of my first big disappointments. Like, at least, like, you know, Xbox 360 era onward, I have, like, the achievement list to track a lot of it. David Flair beats Chris Hero. God help us. Brent Albright beats Ray Gordy. The Beer Community defend the tag titles over Daniels and Skipper. And they cut a promo. Super Dragon and Brian Adias beat Ruckus and Johnny Stamboli. We have a new tag team. Ruckus and Johnny Stamboli. Scott Putski beats Blitzkrieg. Tony Mamaluke beats Test. And then the Board of Education beat Rocky Road, Hernandez, and Noble in the Country Dogs. All right, good show. Still no pop change. Still lost $800. Can you believe we burned through almost 200 grand already? Jesus Christ. Big boy, those early days of like Madden Online were so weird. So weird. All right, so that was Ruckus and Johnny Stamboli. Right. Ruckus and Johnny Stamboli. What the hell is the name of that tag team? What is the name of Ruckus and Johnny Stamboli as a unit? What do we got for Ruckus and Johnny Stamboli? Romboli. The sucker is Ruckus spelled backward. That's insane. Fucking Romboli. God damn you. That's so dumb. Any other suggestions, chat, for this tag name? Just don't get yourself canceled. Oh, God, their name's going to end up being fucking Romboli. God damn it. We're going Romboli. There they are. So we got the Truth Shooters. Brent Albright and Ron Killings. The Beer Community with AJ Styles and James Storm. Romboli with Ruckus and Johnny Stamboli. Rocky Road with Chip Minton and Rocky Romero. The Country Dogs of Rodney Mack and Trevor Murdoch. And the Board of Education with Lash LaRue and Mike Sanders. So we try to build up a tag division. I'd love for this company to like just be tag wrestling. I think that'd be fun. Bunch of people going to XPW, including Wildcat Chris Harris. Tommy Dreamer. Honky Tonky Man has retired. Break out the honkometer for the Honky Tonky Man. 170 fans expected will go to the holiday skating rink. More drills. Daniels and Adias got into an argument twice. Apparently AJ Styles and David Flair have bonded over their love of horse racing. Fair enough. Alright, let's see. Booking analysis. We got a bunch of people who are not on the show. Saw Overdrive and thought someone did the Overdrive backstage. Alright, back to our four-way tag match. Dreamer finally got sick of Heyman not paying him. We have AJ Styles and James Storm. Lash LaRue and Mike Sanders. Rodney Mack and Trevor Murdoch. Let's do Brian Adias and David Flair. That can be the pre-show. And then that leaves a four-way of fatality. For the dark main event, Jamie Nobleboy, Johnny Stamboli, Rocky Romero, and Scott Putski. Cool. We need 12 more minutes on the show. I guess that won't even be the dark main event. That'll just be the main event. Neat. Neat, neat, neat. All right, we look good. So the Beer Community beats the Board of Education, the Country Dogs, and then Brian Adias and David Flair, who did not pan out as a good tag team. Daniels and Skipper beat Hero and Ray Gordy. Other way around. Hero and Gordy won. Albright promo. Albright over Ruckus. Super Dragon over Blitzkrieg. Test promo. Tony Mamaluke beats Chip Minton. What happened to the sport I love? Hernandez wins the Western States title, beating Test. And then Scott Putski beats Johnny Stamboli, Rocky Romero, and Jamie Nobleboy. Got 48. Our pop still didn't go up, but that will bring us into August. August of 1999. August. Ow. I'm so tired. Scott Hall took a leadership role within the NWO. Tajiri was kicked out of a faction in New Japan. Test doesn't like Rodney Mack. Fair enough. We are still 37th in the world. We still have some momentum. We lost almost $6 grand last month. It's to be expected. Company size. We are 2 popularity points away, man. 2 away. WCW is still the #1 promotion. Pick a random area you know nothing about. Oceania. Try to compete with WWE. SB, it would depend on how much money we were allowed to have at the start. Because there is a system where you can convince someone to, like, hey, move closer. And the bigger your company is, the better. We are now the highest rated insignificant promotion. As JWP have fallen back. Not bad. Be like, for example, for some of these other rookies, like, if we had a bigger promotion, right? I could probably say to, let's say CM Punk, right? Who's based out of the Great Lakes, so I can't bring him in right now without having to pay for travel. But I could talk to him and say, hey, are you willing to move closer? No. No, I'm not. But again, like, the bigger promotion you have, the more likely I believe you are to be able to convince someone, like, hey, move closer. We'll give you a job. You know? That shot of Hall. It's Ripley, there are some people in their databases, they use fucking mugshot pictures for people. We're the most significant, insignificant company. Damn right. Alright, let's see. Do we have any new rookies? Not that I can really afford to have them on roster. Misha Webb, JP Black, still there. Borash, Lobo, and Mondo. Z-Bar, all the fucking CZW alumni are showing up. Christy Mist. That's a good question, Ripley. I don't know. I didn't even see them. Larry Rivera, Nick Gage. Yeah. Yeah, like tri-state wise, like Peppa Parks, like Kurt Angle, right? Number one, he still wants $800 a show, so that's not happening. But we could talk to like Orlando Jordan and be like, hey, you want to move closer? No. We just don't have that sway to convince people to relocate. I wish we did, but we don't. But man, we are 2 points away. I should still probably shorten up the roster, but I'm stubborn because I really want this to be tag-based. I mean, put it this way, we're never going to make money. I could just minimize the losses for now. Especially to ticket prices. I don't believe that's correct. So yeah, our weekly show, we're charging very cheap tickets, and I think Saturday night is also very cheap tickets. Yeah. So, I mean, we could definitely start to charge more money, but right now we're just trying to do whatever we can to get that popularity up, and having the very cheap tickets gives us a little bit of a shortcut. It can increase pop gains. So. Oh, my goodness. Random ass Lucha just named Moger. The GOAT. Put some respect on Moger's name. Horace has left New Japan. Rocco Rock showed up in no condition to compete. G1 Climax Final. Won by Yuji Nagata. Hell yeah. Yuji Nagata wins the G1. Road Wild 99 saw Sting beat Scott Hall. Savage over Juventud and Mysterio. Steiners keep the tag titles. Bulldog keeps the TV title. Benoit and Luger over Hogan and Guerrero. Flair over John Nord. Kurt Hennig over Zabisco. Stevie Ray beat Scotty Riggs. What a weird one. Anything else overly interesting? Jesse Ventura's heading back to the WWF for SummerSlam. Of course, of course. He's back in Minnesota. He's back in Minnesota. The soda. Minnesota. Minnesota? WWF now teaming up Pat Tanaka and Dave Sullivan, Style and Substance. Feels on brand that Roland Alexander pocketed $25 million instead of growing the company. We'll have to double check them, actually. XPW are at war with ECW. Tommy Dreamer has defected. So XPW and ECW going to war. So company wars. Where is APW still? Yeah, they're still way down there. They are now down to $9 million. Razor, he actually did just pocket $15 million. They just had $15 million disappear. I'm pretty sure Roland Alexander did actually just pocket 15 of the $25 million. Otherwise, what the hell did they even spend it on? Because there's no notes about them starting off like a development system or anything. What the hell? They actually did just have $15 million vanish into thin air. He bought a yacht for the Jericho cruise, I guess. That is absurd. Jesus. Alrighty then, well. Shout out to Roland Alexander. One of the biggest carnies in wrestling history, and bless him, he's done it again. He's done it again. What are the investments again? I can show you. Gerald Briscoe to stay with WWF. Kurt Angle to begin new storyline against Glacier. Oh my god, Kurt Angle and Glacier. Fuck yeah. So the investments are a new company. So, I mean, literally, you can just start an entirely new company. You can purchase a classic title belt if you care to do that. You know, they have a certain starting prestige and everything. You can build a corporate headquarters. The advantages it gives you an immediate one-off 10% boost to company prestige and an ongoing 25% boost to the company's hidden influence. You can create your own venue. You can build a physical Hall of Fame, which again gives a boost to prestige and your influence score. I think that's what they did. What, the headquarters? Okay, so they built the corporate headquarters. That's so weird. What a weird choice. You know, classic title belts, that is interesting, right? Because, like, you got the AWA titles. Including that Ooh, imagine we bought the 45 grand. We don't have the money to do that anymore. God, maybe that's what I should have done, is immediately buy the fucking AWA world title. Texas heavyweight title would cost 10 grand. So maybe that's a goal of ours, is to eventually claim the Texas heavyweight title and the USWA titles. If we could claim those, or even the UWA titles, that would be nice. But we don't have the money for it right now. I wish we did. But that's definitely something we could do to get ourselves more prestigious titles. Just steal every other promotion's titles when they retire them, right? Yeah, I mean, we're down to 14 grand, just under. I mean, our promotion's been running for a year and a half. We have been hemorrhaging money based off of our starting allowance from Frank for this challenge, but we're doing what we can. Gotta spend money to make money, right? Yeah, that title thing is now way more interesting because when we were doing the WCW run, we really had no reason to do that. Sorry I didn't ask sooner, but thanks, APW, for spending 15 mil. You know how mad I am that they immediately got that and then spent 15 million of it? I am so salty. Can you imagine what I could do with a 50 or freaking $25 million windfall right now? God damn. We would actually be able to bring in bigger talents and pay for their travel. Like, Hulk Hogan has invented a move. Oh, what move would good old Terry have invented in the summer of '99? Maybe he debuted the finger poke of doom a little bit late. I don't know. You could buy all the titles. That we could. They'll lay on top of you for 3 seconds, dude. Everything's about titles, blimps, and money. Alright, we'll go to the bone. Super Dragon was not happy with Jamie Noble. James Storm and Hero got into an argument. Skipper and Sin hang out. Rodney Mack and Lash hang out. Okay, no super negative notes. Alright, who did not get booked? Albright, Minton, Hero, Romero, Putski, and Mamaluke. So 3 faces and 3 heels. We need a 6-man. So it will be Chip Minton, Chris Hero, and Rocky Romero. Against Brent Albright, Scott Putski, and Tony Mamaluke. SB, not necessarily. The reason why I'm using the auto booker is primarily to save time. Because what we noticed throughout the first year or so of this playthrough is basically no matter how much effort I put into the storylines, it really wasn't making that much of a difference. So for me, it's like, okay, we'll just have the auto booker go. We have everybody in one company-wide storyline, stable versus stable. So everything factors into this, which is listed as extremely hot in terms of the overall popularity of the story. And that way, the auto booker, we're just able to save time. Because there's not too much of a reason to get overly invested in what's going on right now, because the benefit to the company is so minimal because we're so insignificant. So when you're a competitive battle, it makes sense to be more hands-on. Absolutely. So yeah, when we were running WCW, we were booking every week, top to bottom. Daniels beats Gordy. Plus, this way too, we kind of see who naturally gets over. The beer community beats David Flair and Elix Skipper. Country Dogs beat Romboli. Styles and Storm promo. Super Dragon and Brian Adias beat the Board of Education. So you're basically that one Japanese promotion that's made up entirely of 4 different stables. Kind of, yeah. We literally have 2 stables right now. We have 2 stables right now, company-wide feud, and we're able to make some good progress here as Hernandez defends the Western States title over Blitzkrieg, and Jamie Noble defends the heavyweight title over Test. And then the 6-man to end the night, that was a 48, and we are 1 popularity point away. Fuck, I'm gonna fucking regret it, but I want to see this. Was on our booking team. I literally think it's just our host character, which is Kevin Von Erich, and I think Eddie Sharkey. Because we had somebody else sign. I think we had Greg Gagne signed for a while. Los Boricuas is over. Well, fuck. Also, Shawn Michaels and Tammy Sitch have broken up. No more sunny days for Shawn. Our booking team is literally just Kevin Von Erich. That's it. Although we could apparently add Super Dragon. Although his quiet personality might not be well suited to the booking team. But we apparently could add Super Dragon. We could also add Eddie Sharkey. He has no booking skill at all, but at least he's a veteran and he's here. You know? I don't know if, Super Dragon would be nice, but also we don't need him getting an ego. No Boricuas, no buys. WWF is going to tank. We could try to train certain people up. Sharky's the basic of the road dog, yes. Let's add Baby Sharky to the booking team. Let's add referee Randy Eller to the booking team. We'll add Sin to the booking team and Bobcat. Basically, as long as you're not an in-ring wrestler, you're on the booking team. Because damn it, what choice do we have? What choice do we have? Don't we have another referee? We do. We have Rudy Charles. There we go. There we go. So managers, referees, road agent. Y'all are the booking team now. We do have stored creative energy. Let's go for character ideas. Just to try to get more people over. And we'll see if that helps. Just spend those points, try to get more of our characters over. There we go. So yeah, that is the deal. And then Inner Circle, Chief Enforcers. Really nobody fits the role. Head of Talent Relations. Nobody really fits the role, but you know what? It's gonna be Baby Sharky. I dig this part of TW a lot, the Inner Circle too, even though there's some busted roles. Yeah, like the morale officer is often pretty damn risky. Dude, Eddie Sharkey is doing like everything. Eddie Sharkey is doing everything for us. It's hilarious. Oh, God, a WWF without the Los Boricuas. That is upsetting. God, 1 point away. Can we sign Shark Boy and have Eddie Sharkey manage him? God, that's a hell of an idea. If we get a $25 million windfall, hell yeah. See, like, if we had that money, we could easily just pick up Lenny Lane, who wants $200 a show, but he's got some popularity from being on WCW television. But we're just not in that conversation yet, you know? Like, even tiny company size, I don't know exactly how much that's going to help us. But again, it has taken us now over a year and a half just to try to grow this company to the next level. Disco looking to stay. I'm really only looking for, like, major news because... Actually, I don't even know how many shows it's going to take to get that popularity point up. We'll see if I guess we can get it by the end of August. We'll do 1 more month. 3:30 at the latest for me. I probably should end stream now, but that's fine. I'll be mad at myself in the morning. Bunch of people going to XPW. Bunch of people going to XPW. Bruce Pritchard likely leaving the WWF. Good riddance. Yeah, sack of business. Yeah, sack of business. Ah. You ever hit yourself in the mouth with a water bottle? Terry staying with the WWF. Jason Arndt. Oh. They're dropping Jason Arndt? Don't drop Jason Arndt. But what about the Mean Street Posse? It can't be a posse with just 2 people. That's a pretty sad posse. The award for biggest posse goes to... Nick Mondo got an offer from XPW. Makes sense. Stevie Ray looking like he's leaving WCW. Come on, $25 million windfall. Let a rich fan die and leave us money. Please. Please let a rich fan die and leave me a lot of money. Office Slam for booking. Easy Money is dating Amy Lee. Scott Steiner has alienated the rest of the locker room. Farouk. Looks like Ron Simmons is leaving the WWF. Disco is staying with WCW, though. You ever accidentally hit yourself on something and question how it happened by recreating the motion? Yes. Yes, in fact. Because you have to see what steps you took to see how you ended up there. All right, 120 fans expected. Locker room incidents. Video game tournament won by Hernandez. People getting along. People not getting along. But no major fights or anything. Baby Sharky. Baby Sharky. All right, let's see. We have enough people to do our big tag discovery or experience gain. So that'll be AJ Styles and James Storm, Lash LaRue and Mike Sanders, Rodney Mack and Trevor Murdoch. Let's do Jamie Noble and Super Dragon. Maybe see if they can be a good tag team. That'd be pretty sweet. That leaves us with a triple threat match. It'll be Brian Adias, Chris Hero, and Hernandez. All right. Let's see. Hernandez wins, pinning Chris Hero. Ray Gordy beats Elix Skipper. You can invent Ultimate X a few years early. It's true. Romboli win their first match together as they beat Christopher Daniels and David Flair. Albright and Killings promo. Truth Shooters lose to Chip Minton and Rocky Romero, a.k.a. Rocky Road. Blitzkrieg beats Tony Mamaluke. Rocky Road promo. Scott Putski beats Test. I can't believe Test hasn't been signed yet. And then the Board of Education win that tag match. No notes about Jamie Noble and Super Dragon. It's a trip seeing Daniels with hair. It's really weird, isn't it? Fans are a bit disappointed. Shit. I thought we did have the match, James. Another $800 loss. Don't know if I've seen a match where he had hair. He had some different hairstyles too. There's one in particular that you need to see. Because not only did he have hair, right? But then at one point, he had the fucking QMJHL dyed blonde hair. So, he had some looks. He definitely had some looks. For better or worse. For the old fallen angel. Goodness. Anything else? Charlie Haas is back from injury. Again, still just nothing crazy for the news. Pomp and bonds with Kung Fu is certainly one of the sentences of all time. Oh, man. I mean, who amongst us hasn't had bonding time with Kung Fu? Who amongst us? Octagon Declaration, the only true star of AAA. Mike Graham looking to stay with WCW. It's because Jeff Jarrett isn't there. He legit wrestled for ECW with hair. He did. Late stage WCW and ECW is littered with people that then went on to TNA and became at least something. Does Kung Fu Panda count? Of course it does. Jack Black's like 5th best role. Let's see. More signings for XPW. They are going to burn through that money so fast. Whatever money they even have. Where did they start off? Jesus Christ, they started off in the top 15. What are Jack Black's first... Oh, dude, Jack Black's best roles? Are you kidding? This isn't obvious? You're out of your goddamn mind. Number 1, School of Rock. Obviously. Number 2, Mars Attacks. Obviously. Number 3, The Cable Guy. Clearly number 3, Cable Guy. God, from there, it's actually a little bit tough. I mean, God, that Anchorman cameo, though. That Anchorman cameo might have to be number 4. That Dewey Cox cameo. That has to be in there too. It's got to be in there too. I think I stand by my choices. Jack Black was in The Cable Guy. He sure was. Young Daniels. Holy shit, I've never seen that picture of Christopher Daniels. Dude, he tried to hold on to that hair for way too long. How do you not have Nacho Libre in the top 5 as a wrestling fan? I haven't seen it in a long time, but the last time I watched it, I'm sorry, it was a bit cringe. Jumanji just missed the cut. Sure did. I'll have to give Nacho Libre another chance, but the last time I saw it, it was a bit cringe. I stand by that. Pretty great as a white stoner with dreads and found us. Yeah, I was going to say it's I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah. Also good, I agree. Anaconda movie wasn't terrible. Fair. Tropic Thunder is a good one. So I will admit, with a lot of movies like that, I just kind of rebelled. Because there was just so much of the awkward comedy movies, the stoner comedy movies, and it's just, there was this oversaturation where I'm just like, oh, I don't fucking care anymore. Even if they were good, I just don't care. So a lot of them I did tune out. It's a long way to the shop if you want a sausage roll. It's true. But yeah, clearly, I mean, the number one for Jack Black is School of Rock, and then second is Mars Attack. What about Grandma's Boy? That still very much fits that description. That style of just that, it's all in that same genre of humor where I'm just like, okay, like, we've had too many of these. They're too similar. You know? I might be wrong, but I'm just saying there were too many of them. The fucking, super bad and everything that leads into, and just there's too much of it. There was too much of it. Super Dragon and Ruckus got into an argument. Putski and Gordy, Haas and Storm. Gotta love when people get aggravated. Stored creative ideas. Alright, so character ideas. Who has the weakest the weakest amount of momentum? Daniels. Creative idea. Can we get Christopher Daniels out of here in terms of creative ideas? Yes, we can. Can we get David Flair out of here? Yes. Can we get Elix Skipper out of here? No. Poor Elix. It's not very prime time of him. All right, to the Booker. All right, we got some other dudes that still need to be booked. The fact that this is the same person. It's crazy, isn't it? Christopher Daniels had a hell of a career. He's apparently in the running for the higher power. It's nuts. Johnny Stamboli and Ruckus, Slash LaRue and Mike Sanders, Rodney Mack and Trevor Murdoch, Elix Skipper and Super Dragon. They could make for a good team. Who else hasn't been booked? Jamie Noble and Rocky Romero. Jamie Noble and Rocky Romero. 4th time this matchup has been held. Don't worry about it. Oh, Ray Gordy and Chris Hero beat David Flair and Christopher Daniels. All text, I saw it way back in the day. I kind of count that in the same category for me, at least. Truth Shooters win the tag titles, beating the beer community as Ron Killings beats AJ Styles. Brian Adias beats Charlie Haas. Test and Blitzkrieg beat Tony Mamaluke and Scott Putski. Hernandez beats Chip Minton. Romboli wins the tag match. And Jamie Noble beats Rocky Romero. All right, we're not going to get there. At least not tonight. We're not going to get there. Still losing about $800 a show. That's all right, though. Has Jake Paul's suit sweat been mentioned yet today? No, but I, for one, can't wait for future presidential nominee Jake Paul, because that's not indicative of the fall of the empire. That is not indicative at all of the fall of the empire. Oh, God. What a time. All right. Well, now I'm sad and depressed. Congrats to SB. You just killed the stream. I'm going to bed. But no, I do need to go to bed anyway. That said, we should be back tomorrow night as MLB The Show drops at midnight. We will be there. I hope you will be as well. Be there. Be squared. As Dr. Death gets engaged. Fuck Dr. Death! I fucking love that quote.